Sakel. Нет маскела, малвифи. Штамиров, увидел.
Niin minä ilmakin luokkin päästä suomaa suomakat.
Need babies.
En ja själva. En ingen silkjamrof. En sirkluksret.
Sarah, Sarah, snooze, be tears, that love. Yes, I can.
These hot sounds.
And raping and killing kids, like my family was involved with, it's evil. It's the very definition of evil. Even when they were told that I made a threat on a child, which I didn't, I just asked God to smite them, which I didn't. There's no proof that I said, which I didn't. I just asked God to smite them. I specifically said it wouldn't be me, that it would be God, and they would know it was God. And this, I'm just fighting everybody and everything. And it is crazy because I am trying God, which I ask God to smite them. Kabuki Bob, there's no proof. I said I wanted God to smite them. You should feel threatened because I feel that God is about to smite everyone who won't follow. And I have an army of people. I have a video right now. That's how tightly they are on top of me. They are just blatantly, tightly they are on top of me. They are going after me. That's what they're trying to stop me with. And there is an army of them out there. Control God, really? I control God, which I didn't. I just asked God to smite him. I threatened my police, which I didn't. I just asked God to smite them. Been arrested and charged for threatening my police. It was full of lies. And I control God with the Algona police, and now they want to put me in jail. Doug Mesner has already sent me a message saying that I'm going to die in jail, and they're going to take my house. That's what I'm having to deal with. And so that is what's going on. Then I went to Bruce Turner, and her husband was dead within a year later. Less than a year later, her husband was dead. I just asked God to smite him. And there's no mercy out here to be had. I control God. I just asked God to smite him. Obviously are an army out there. They're on this video right now making comments. There's a lot of supporters, but there are people who are actually just trying to trash me right now. And again, the threat that they are talking about that I made, I asked God to smite them. That was my threat. That's my video for the day. I don't plan on getting quiet. They are going to take me to court November 2nd. If they are listening to me, or if If I go to court on November 2nd, I'm basically expecting them to put me in jail, and then I will die in jail. And let me make it quite clear. I will never commit suicide, ever. It is totally against my faith. And that is the thing that compels me to keep going. We are charged.
Shame. 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 Shame.
This video is actually all YouTube content creators, people that are really trying to find YouTube. They want to be viewed. Obviously, I want to be viewed too. You want to be seen, you want to be heard. And you got to recognize, you got to look introspectively, realize why do you have that desire in the first place? You want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to be popular.
Howdy. I don't know why it was duplicating audio. Already off to a great start.
Yeah, but I saw a bunch of interesting themes coming through there. David Shurter remains a scumbag, suicide, dark, dark stuff.
I see what happened just now. Sorry, I was retarded. I'm so sorry, Doc. I was having duplicated audio in my ear and it was throwing me off. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. The Chanter's curse has lifted, but the curse of Ron, he's with us in spirit, if not in person or soul at the moment.
Well, you know, I see Stephen on my screen here, and the first thing I want to say before we get started is happy birthday, Lord Stephen Christ.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Stephen. The Magi will be here shortly. Hang on for the 3 special gifts.
Yeah, there will be some special gifts for the Lord, and I want everyone to be on the lookout. The mega cryometers are falling much more frequently and much faster than expected, so the apocalypse is nigh, everyone.
Yeah, we have an update on the apocalypse and the Antichrist coming up, because both are either present or imminent.
Well, before we get to those things, let me go ahead and I have this video here of the Lord. It's from the Lord, actually. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. Stephen is going to let everyone know what he wants for his birthday from God. So I think that God should oblige. I mean, Stephen is God, but he's speaking to the Father figure.
Yeah.
So here,
I mean, Stephen is one part of the Trinity, and I mean, everyone really knows that in their heart and soul.
well, here's Stephen's birthday request, everyone.
These 2 groups of people, according to these scriptures, is what they did and didn't do.
Well, I want Stephen to know that I love him more than I love everyone else. How do you feel about that, Doc?
Well, I feel the same way, of course, and I'd love to see his Amazon wish list, because we could sell some magic rocks and who knows what else.
Well, we are going to sell magic rocks. More about that to come. But I just want to get everyone in the audience, please, because it's Stephen's birthday, can I just get a Hail Stephen Christ from everyone in the audience?
Yeah.
Hail Stephen Christ.
Hail Stephen Christ.
Thank you, Stephen. And by the way, Stephen wants to know that all of you who are downvoting his videos, you are all cursed. I hope you know that you are going to go to a fucking FEMA death camp after your life spirals out of control if you are using sock accounts to downvote Stephen Christ videos. You can go right to Gehenna, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and we have a FEMA camp update as part of the Tardoscope weather forecast with Doppler radar coming up later.
We do. I didn't know about that. But anyway, happy birthday, Stephen. He's a great guy, everyone. I love Stephen.
We love you, Stephen.
I also want to say the David Schroeder video you saw in the intro comes from the channel Dun Hate You. It's D-U-N, the letter H, the number 8, and the letter U. That is a hilarious video, and it is much more poignant than David Schroeder's actual videos. So, what did you think of that, Doc? Wasn't it a great look into David Schroeder's mind?
I thought his eyes looked spectacular and his teeth looked Komodo dragon, but I am actually personally acquainted with Kabuki Bob.
Are you?
I know Kabuki Bob very well. He's a dark guy who lurks in the shadows, hence the name.
Such are we all in the
Yeah, indeed. He's a low-level order initiate and a prospect. So I'm keeping an eye on Kabuki Bob.
He's on the fast track to the top of the order if he plays his cards right.
He reminds me of me.
He reminds me of me, too.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know who he is, but...
So Dave Schroeder, yeah, he has an appointment in the next several days.
Yeah, let's do the Antichrist update. Dave Schroeder's court date it was January 4th, but I also heard possibly January 5th. Any weigh in on that? What do you think, the 4th or the 5th, Doc? When is he going to court for threatening to murder his neighbor's baby?
Well, I think the 4th, but he didn't threaten. He just had God threaten the life of his neighbor's kids. And I think broke 4 out of the possible 7 restraining orders at that point.
This is due to a restraining order violation, everyone. That is why he's being ordered by the court to have a psychiatric evaluation.
Yeah. The last court transcript, which is astonishing, is actually, or was actually, on David Schroeder's blog. So my commitment to the audience is to pull, as soon as legally possible, the court transcript of the psych evaluation. And as it's a public record, make it a public record.
Well, also, Doc and I are going to be in the audience on January 4th, along with Doug Messner. And I mean all of the Doug Messners. The whole audience is going to be just filled with Doug Messners at David Schroeder's court appearance. The judge, I've heard a rumor, may in fact also be Doug Messner. So
I understand. Yeah, that's going to happen. And for the younger viewers, remember the terrible sequels of The Matrix and the Agent Smith style, the massive fight? Doug Messner. We will all be Doug Messner. They're filling the public gallery.
We are. And you can't stop us, Dave. We're going to get you, Dave Schroeder! Anyway, I guess that's the Antichrist update. What do you predict? Do you think he'll be back on the 5th, or do you think he'll be back on the 6th? Because I feel like he'll be back as soon as the court is like, you know, you're not worth our time, because they will, because our system is completely broken and insane, deranged, dangerous morons like Dave Schroeder are allowed to wander around in public. I feel as though he will get off lightly and he will be back on the 5th. What do you think, Doc?
My prediction stands. I think he'll have a wise public defender who will say, sit down, don't say a word, keep your eyes on the paper in front of you, don't say a word, and he'll pass. He'll scrub up nice, not a danger to himself or others, although he threatens people's babies.
Well,
and he'll probably walk with a slap on the wrist. Also, within 10 minutes, he will post a video saying how it's a tremendous success.
Yeah, I think he'll reinstitute that YouTube channel the second he walks out. But I will say this, don't forget the public defender, there's a 50-50 chance that that is going to be Doug Messner. So you don't know, he may actually throw a monkey wrench in the gears there.
It's quite probable, given what we've seen in the past with our various I am Doug Messner moments. His PA, yeah.
You know what? I think we need to start a hashtag, welcome back Dave, because we all know he's going to be back within the week, right? He's going to be back within the week. That's my prediction.
I would probably bet on that.
He's
And
back on Facebook already.
I hope that he repeats the Dave Schroeder gardening hour where he discovers magical rocks in his yard and burns them with gasoline in front of his neighbors while ranting on his telephone.
About how they spy on him. You know, I can't wait though, because when Dave Schroeder comes back, it's going to be like a catharsis. You know, we'll have a number one bad guy again. And also, every time Dave Schroeder makes a video and I make or you make a video response, we will have to remind people of that video wherein he proclaims that he violently raped his nephew. I mean, we'll have to just show that every single time Dave Schroeder is mentioned, because that video is never going away, Dave. You fucking sick motherfucker.
Yeah. And I found it really interesting that Dave posted a Facebook thing saying those things that I said on video, and I'm linking it here, I never said. How dense do you think we are, David?
I would play the video again just for posterity, but let's be honest, we all want to keep our lunch, right? So let's not play that video now. But when he rears his hideous warded face up again, we will remind everyone that Dave Schroeder rapes children who are related to him. So, because he admitted it on video, because he's a fucking retard.
Yeah, yeah. And on the Dan Shelley factor scale, I think Dave comes in at the evil apex.
Yeah, well, guys, we need to introduce you. There's the Dan Shelley factor. Doc and I were discussing this when we were talking about Flat Earth Fokker, who is in fact a stand-up guy. He's got a bit of the Dan Shelley factor. Like, you know, he's retarded, and it's so easy to rip on him for being retarded, but he's also a nice guy. So, you know, there's a bit of a Dan Shelley factor there. But Dave Schroeder's Dan Shelley factor is very low. I mean, he's very hateable.
Very hateable. I'm developing the algorithms to derive a three-dimensional structure based on the Dan Shelley factor.
Yeah, this is very scientific, everyone.
Oh, absolutely. I'm highly qualified. And there are three variables, and those are hilarity, retardedness, and evil.
Those are some good factors when we come into the Dan Shelley factor equation, I think. But yeah, we'll be rating retards on the Dan Shelley factor equation from now on.
And many of the audience won't know Dan Shelley, but briefly, he has some extremely odd beliefs and behaviors, but he's, to my mind, a lovely guy.
Well, if you're in the audience and you want no Dan Shelley, you're in for a bad time, because we got a Dan Shelley video this episode.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So,
what else? Oh, Dan Pratt actually showed all of his documentation for the charity and proved that he was, in fact, running a real charity and that he's a real philanthropist. Wasn't everyone shocked? You were shocked when he showed that documentation, right, Doc?
I was absolutely floored, because for the longest time I thought
it was a scam, right?
Flat Earth Food Drive, give me money so I can buy cans to give to other people with Flat Earth written on them. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
I wasn't buying it either. But of course, you know, I am lying, because Dan Pratt has actually revealed no documentation nor shown a video of him handing out a single can of food to a single fucking person. So the fact is, all of you morons who gave money to Dan Pratt for the Flat Earth Food Drive are fucking retarded, because that guy spent all of that money on Christmas presents for his kids. I guarantee it, okay?
Yeah, maybe Christmas presents for his kid, but I think a couple of cases of rice-a-roni were in there too.
Probably, yeah, but he donated them to himself. Do you think he wrote Research Flat Earth on the food he donated to his own family with that money?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he did. And based on last count, he got like $2,500, which is close to the top of the Scumbag of the Year award.
Wow, I didn't know he got that much. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely bizarre. And
but not one single evidence has been presented that shows that he actually used any of this money for a single thing that he said he was going to use it for, correct?
That's true, although there's a report that he clubbed a homeless guy to death with a can of Spam.
I could see that. He's a very angry person.
Yeah, I worry that he spends all that time in his freezing cold garage. It's almost as if his wife and family have said, "You're not
stay out there. Yeah, stay in the garage, motherfucker." He did upload some video, but then he quickly deleted it. Almost all of his Flat Earth Food Drive videos have now been deleted, and he's going to argue that's because it's already been done. It was supposed to be finished on December 24th, but as predicted, and I want to repeat because this is a very important point, he has not shown a single receipt or a single video of him handing out a single can of food to a single person. So he is nothing more than a fucking scammer. He is a dirty, low-life motherfucker who is collecting disability on false pretenses. And all he did was get money from you stupid-ass morons who think the earth is flat like a fucking pancake. You're all fucking morons. Everyone knows that the Lord Stephen Christ is God and that the earth is concave. And you idiots gave Dan Pratt money because you were stupid enough to let such a low-life amateur scammer scam you. You're morons if you gave Dan Pratt money. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done, morons. He also hates the Jews and everyone that isn't a fat retard.
Hates Jews, hates gays, but he has black friends who we have never seen evidence of, just like we've never seen evidence of the fact that he donated a single cent to a homeless person. So
yeah, but I think he went a little bit quiet when Kabuki Bob intervened and sent him the legislation in his state on what you have to do if you're taking charitable donations.
Well, Dan Pratt was quick to delete all of those Flat Earth Food Drive videos. Blatantly a scammer. If at this point you question that Dan Pratt is a low-life, degenerate, lying, scamming scumbag, then your IQ is not... It's probably less than 75, okay? I just want to let you know.
Yeah, we're talking G-Man levels there.
Yeah.
And
Pure retard. Retards actually are smarter than you if you donated money to Dan Pratt.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you've got 20 points IQ above someone, you can probably scam them out of at least $1. And the internet means many, many more. But Dan Pratt, he's a minnow. He's a street dealer. He's a huckster. We're more interested in the bigger fish.
What do you think Dan Pratt's IQ is? I'm guessing 82 to 83. That's my guess.
I'd give him 85.
85? Well, you're very generous.
Yes, I am. But that's a day when vodka doesn't come into it.
Well, since we're talking about Dan Pratt, I have a new video of him here. First, of course, we need to play the Dan Pratt epic intro because I said every single Dan Pratt segment would be featuring this intro. So I have to do it. You know, I have to stick by my word.
Yep. Yep.
Dan Pratt. Dan Pratt. Dan Pratt. Reshaping our world. Dan Pratt. Dan Pratt. Dan Pratt. Reshaping our world. Oh, Dan Pratt. There's the intro. Epic intro, everyone.
Yep. Dan Pratt, flat earther, hates the Jews, hates the gays, exploits his kids on camera, and scams money out of people.
Another gross thing that does need to be mentioned is that Dan Pratt frequently puts his own children on camera because people accuse him of child abuse because he uses his children to gain sympathy from people who will therefore donate to him because they know he's having a hard time. So Dan Pratt, you know, psychologically at least abusing his children. Are you going to be surprised when Dan Pratt's children in 10 years come out and say that their father is a fucking retard and they can't believe their insane conspiracy theorist retard father thought the earth was flat? I'm not going to be surprised, personally.
Well, when I think of my father, I think, you know, we agree on most things, and he's a pretty reasonable guy that I'd want as my neighbor. I have to say, though, Dan Pratt has never on camera done anything inappropriate or weird to his kids, except show them on his Flat Earth Retard videos.
To get PayPal donations, right?
Well, he's jumping on the Von Helton pay me in any way possible wagon.
You know what? I'm just thinking, Dan's like, who's going to fund the next generation of Pratts? Once I'm gone, who's going to spread the gospel about the flat earth if you don't donate to me?
Well, Kabuki Bob sent Dan Pratt the location of Dan Shelley's Oreo stash in the woods, so that's probably how it's going to happen.
He's going to kill Dan Shelley and take those Oreos.
I'm thinking, remember bum fights back in the day? I think we could set up tarred cage matches. Dan Pratt versus Dan Shelley.
That would be pretty cool. That Dan versus Dan. 2 Dans enter. 1 Dan leaves.
That's right. I think Dan Shelley would probably take him, although Dan Pratt definitely has about 60 pounds weight advantage.
Yeah, but Dan Shelley's the more likable character in this duel. So the audience is going to be rooting for Dan Shelley to win. So
completely.
I want Dan Shelley to win, personally.
WWF, but with tards in a cage, is coming up on the Eros News Network.
Oh, I wish we could get a tarred cage match. But Dan Pratt wants to let everyone know that the Illuminati Jews plan to distract us into infinity. Now, you know, I don't... Actually, let's watch this part of this video before I make this salient comment.
I lost my little holder thing, so I'm going to be jiggling for a minute. But, okay, so the people that keep saying everything's a distraction, trust me, I understand. I've been of that mindset for years. But we've got to keep in mind, what is a distraction? It is to distract from an ultimate goal.
You know what I think a distraction is? Probably like when you took a bunch of money from a bunch of fucking morons and you said that you were going to deliver that money via canned food to homeless people to research the Flat Earth Drive, and then you never talk about it again. And you only talk about, like, the Illuminazis and the Jews. I think that could be a distraction. What do you think a distraction might be, Doc?
That sounds like a distraction, but my observation of this video is, are his eyes getting crazier than they were?
I didn't even notice. I'm going to take a look as we venture further into this dark nightmare of Daniel Pratt's. This horrible reality where the Earth is flat. What a nightmare.
Tell you, they have painted themselves into a corner, but they don't paint themselves into corners. So something has to happen now.
You know what has to happen, Dan? I think we really need to see those receipts, okay? We really need to see the receipts. If you can't show us video of you handing out the food, which nobody thought you were going to do in the first place, we at least need to see some goddamn receipts to know that you bought some actual canned food. And the food better be canned, bitch, okay? It better be $300, $400 a pop worth of Chef Boyardee raviolis before you go on talking about anything else, because we want to know where the money went, Dan. Where'd the money go?
Yep. And, you know, if you're going to ask people, just say, give me money for shit to give to my family at Christmas. Fair enough.
Yeah,
you know?
Say like my kids need Christmas presents and I'm a broke loser who pretends to have a disability so I can't afford it. But I'm a leader of the Flat Earth movement. Give me some money so I can give my kids a good Christmas. That's not disrespectable. Well, it is slightly. This pretending that you're going to help people who actually need help while keeping all the money for yourself under a false premise, that is not a respectable thing to do, Daniel Pratt.
Yeah, a big thing on the Dan Shelley scale is honesty. And if you're honest about your opinions, if you're honest about your position,
and your
fair enough. I don't have to agree with you. But don't say, I'm buying 2,800 cans of Chef Boyardee for the homeless and show zip, nada.
You should be able to buy about that many cans of Chef Boyardee for the homeless with the amount of money you raised, Daniel Pratt. But again, and I'm going to stress this point until the end of time, because this guy's nothing more than a homophobic, fucking bigot, loser, anti-Semitic piece of shit who knows that the earth is not flat, and he's scamming you morons for PayPal donations because you're sympathetically retarded to him. Then I will remind everyone that Daniel Pratt scammed thousands of dollars from you in lieu of a Flat Earth food drive, which we never saw a single actual piece of evidence from ever. I will remind everyone until the end of time.
Yep, end of time. You've got to pass until Ragnarok, Dan.
That's right, bitch.
And by the way, you need to fix your ceiling because it's been that way for like 6 months now.
I know, dude. You can't even. You don't have a job. You can't even fix the ceiling in your garage. What good are you as a husband? I'm just curious. What do you think Dan Pratt contributes aside from a random $2,500 on a major holiday that he scammed out of morons?
Beyond that, probably not too much. But again, street level crazy, street level degenerate scumbag.
Yeah, this is the guy selling crack rocks on the corner.
let's go up a level.
Oh,
Can
we will.
we...
We certainly will, but I just want to reiterate one more time. If you gave Dan Pratt money, you should be aware that he did not show you a receipt or any video of him handing out any food to any person on the face of the earth. His whole premise that he would use a fucking permanent marker to write research flat earth on food was absolutely retarded. And if you gave Dan Pratt 1 penny, you should be ashamed of yourself for being fucking idiotic. Okay? I'm sorry, but that is a very important point for me to stress.
Do you think he dressed up as Santa on the corner, halfway drunk, saying, "Give me cans of tuna"?
He's the son of Santa. He doesn't have to do that. So,
son of Sam.
Yeah.
I worry about Dan because there's an anger and a hatred in this guy. But
why do you think he uses glory holes? Because he hates himself deep inside. We all know about your glory holes, Dan.
The legend of the X-Tube channel.
Yep, it's not even a legend. But Dan Pratt, of course, deleted all the evidence after he got busted. How telling, Dan. Just like you delete your YouTube channel every 3 weeks, you deleted all the evidence of your X-Tube excursions. Just kidding. Totally being satirical.
Aren't, I mean, I'm not overly familiar with this area, but aren't glory hole gifts a thing where, you know, you pop something through the hole and someone slips a canned ham under the thing?
I don't know anything about glory holes, Doc. I have never encountered a glory hole in my entire life. And I definitely did not let Dan Pratt suck my dick through a glory hole ever when I was living in Houston. I swear to God, it never happened.
I'd be prepared to bet that at least 15% of the Flat Earth Food Drive money was glory hole donations.
Yeah, he probably bought a bunch of sex toys for his glory hole. I'm just kidding. He would never. He's not gay, guys. He's got a family. He's not gay.
He's not gay. He doesn't hate the Jews and the blacks.
He definitely doesn't like jerk off with star gods. That never happened. I swear, guys.
But for Dan Pratt, I think the future holds chemtrails. I think he's going to go chemtrail-y completely.
There is a hilarious video of Dan Pratt screaming at chemtrails. Now I wish that I had remembered it. But he's just like, "Look at this, guys! Look at Jews! NASA!"
The Jews and NASA one. I love that.
That's Dan Pratt.
I see the connection between NASA and Nazis, given the repatriation, but NASA and Nazis and the Jews all stirred in together. Historically, I'm not seeing it, Dan. Maybe you're a moron.
Well, we don't talk about Project Paperclip here on the Psychic Vampires podcast, everyone. So, I don't even know why that was funny. It doesn't matter. Are you ready to move on to our next segment, Doc?
Big fish of the week? I think I am.
Bentino Massaro is on the run, everyone. Now, if you don't know Bentino Massaro, he's Teal Swan without tits, but they both have dicks. So, you know, they're similar in that way. And who do you think's dick is bigger, Teal Swan's or Bentino's?
I think Bentino is Ken to Teal's Barbie.
Yeah, but I feel like Teal's probably the top. What do you think?
Almost certainly. And we know that Bentino sells decorative pillows fit to bite on.
He does. He also sells vape juice. Okay? He literally sells those things, everyone. Just saying, especially the pillows. But Bentino Massaro had one of his recruits or students kill themselves recently by jumping off a cliff at one of his retreats. That was on December 9th, and Bentino fled Sedona afterwards because he was feeling a lot of psychic intuition that his life and the life of his followers were in danger. Supposedly he's in Maui right now, but you know us. Me and Doc love when a tard flees because they've caused some horrible, horrible damage that can never be reversed. And now it's going to be very interesting in the coming weeks to see Bentino Massaro do some what do they call? Like he's going to try to do some damage control.
Yeah, he's going to throw the gigantic woo spin, victim blaming, and possession by goblins defense, and the suicide theme. Tragically, it seems to repeat. And for these people, it seems like this is the only thing that they pay attention to. He knows he done wrong.
Yeah, he knows he's fucking busted. But you know what? It's not like he's just saying, like, press the reset button, suicide's like the reset button. This guy actually advises people to kill themselves. So why don't we take a listen? This video is called You Guys Are the True Students.
So wake up to something important. Otherwise, kill yourself.
Good job.
Because there is no sense in living your life.
Wow.
Body language.
Kill yourself, he tells the various people in the audience. If you can't find a purpose in your life wherein I'm just a fake guru, just taking a piss and a shit all over any purpose that life may have, if in any way I confuse you because you don't believe that I am a fucking messianic guru, then kill yourself. That's what he's fucking saying.
Yeah. Does this guy believe his own rhetoric?
Of course not. He's a complete narcissistic sociopath. At this point, I don't want to say that he's a psychopath because we don't really know that he advised the guy specifically to kill himself, but this is psychopathic behavior, telling your audience that they should kill themselves if they don't agree with you or if they don't find life as interesting or beautiful as you do. Like, there doesn't even... Oh, sorry, I'm speaking fast. I'm thinking faster than I'm speaking.
No, don't worry. And, you know, if it's not too personal, I speak as a suicide survivor. And in the wrong situation, this scumbag is exactly the kind of people I'm interested in talking about. He's profiting from vulnerable individuals, self-selected into his tawdry little cult, and his flower arranger. Well, I mean,
that's hideous.
He should go gay. He should go gay.
He, in fact, has a serious case of gay face, but supposedly is a huge womanizer. I'll leave it to the audience to decide if he's trying to wear a beard or not.
Methinks she doth protest too much. He has resting gay face.
He does.
And
I mean, maybe I would hit it if I was, like, super drunk or something, you know? He looks like a bottom. I gotta say, he's got that bottom face.
I have that feel too, and you know, comparing notes from across the other pink divide. Teal Swan, sure, she's attractive, insane, and dangerous,
and transgendered.
Apparently so, as is this guy.
Oh, wait. You mean he was born a female, huh?
Well, that's the story that Bob tells me, and Bob's on his way to Maui as we speak.
We need to consult Magic Dan about this. I can bust out the crystal ball.
I've got Magic Dan on Skype now. Fortunately, thanks, Wiley. But in all seriousness, this guy is a pretty face with a dangerous message.
Yeah, and also he's not quite as smart as he thinks he is. He actually has made a shitload of money. We'll get into that in a second. I want to hear him talk more about death and let us all as an audience wonder why maybe people in his little cult would think that suicide was a viable option.
And you very well know what that is like. Otherwise, you would not be here.
A lot of awkward silences with this guy.
That you either kill yourself or you dedicate yourself to something important.
Kill yourself or become my slave. Good job, dumbass. That's not going to come back to bite you in the ass. Does he ever think when he says, like, you should just kill yourself, does he ever wonder that maybe someone in his audience will actually fucking do that and that he might eat his words one day? Or does it not occur to him?
An audience of impressionable, vulnerable people who have self-selected for a cult with, roughly speaking, a 45% level of psychiatric illness, depression, anxiety, and other things. Notice for the audience, his eyes move, his mouth moves, and his right hand moves, and that's it.
Teal Swan does that too. She does this a lot when she's on stage.
Yeah.
It's a nervous tick. It's like, you know you're lying and you're kind of vaguely concerned about how you come off, so you got to distract everyone with your fucking hands.
Yeah, and for the audience, don't kill yourself, really.
Yeah, for real. Not over this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, and don't give him any more money.
And he makes a shitload of money. But again, we'll get to that. Do you ever wonder, too, like, you might think that clip is pretty damning, but there's also this beautiful clip.
If you look around you, many people have died who were a waste of time, who were a lost cause. There's many lost causes, but they die. Exactly the moment that they become unsavable, in a sense, they die. Exactly that very nanosecond, they die. Does that make sense?
Look at that fucking shit-eating grin on his face. I mean, I know this is a clip using a picture, but so the second that your life becomes purposeless, you die. So you know what? If you think your life has no meaning or purpose, just fucking kill yourself, because you're gonna die anyway. That's what this fucking loser is telling people. This little rich piece of shit who dropped out of high school, going around telling mentally ill people that they should kill themselves if they can't be of service to him. Good for you, Bentino.
As long as a good proportion of them pay him some money beforehand. And that rictus grin there reminds me of televangelists selling exactly the same bullshit for marginally less.
This is a gross individual. I mean, just like, you know what? Maybe it's poor taste, but the wrong person decided to press the reset button, if you ask me. This guy's a fucking malignant tumor in the psyche of humanity, and he's going around spreading this fucking garbage, getting paid for it. And what consequence has he ever had to suffer? Has he ever suffered a single consequence? No. You know, he was raised by rich people. He dropped out of high school and somehow has managed to make hundreds of thousands of dollars spreading this garbage on the internet, and he's got this shit-eating grin on his face while he's telling people that they should just drop dead. And these are people who love him, who he's telling to drop dead.
Well, the consequence based on the recent tragedy is that he's gone on the run, but he's gone on the run to Maui, not to Beirut, not to Palestine. He's gone to an international holiday resort and beautiful place.
He needs a vacation. Now that his fucking devoted followers are killing themselves, he just needs a vacation, guys. He's having a rough time. It's a rough time for mommy's little boy.
Yeah, and, you know, who's to know? This guy may have been in a terrible situation. There's stuff we don't know. But when your guru says, you know what, suicide, it's maybe not such a bad idea in all circumstances, that's when you need to talk to someone else and go read another book.
I just love that this guy's so ready and willing to write off people as a waste of time. Well, if you're dead, you're useless to me, so you are a waste of time. Fuck you. But, you know, there's so much more disgusting shit this guy gets into to give context for what he's talking about. I mean, we got clip after clip of this motherfucker saying the most disgusting, sick shit you could possibly imagine, on top of claiming to have magical powers, which are never demonstrated, of course.
Magical powers that are actually on sale on his website. So
yeah,
that's another area we should explore, I think. But bring on another clip.
Let's go ahead. I have one more clip of him talking about death. Another interesting clip. He is excited to die because he can't wait to say goodbye to all of you idiots.
More of life. Yes. So don't fear death. Be excited about it. Not too excited. You have a job to perform here still. It's still relevant for you to be here, but be absolutely excited. If I see my death coming, I don't know, thoughts may come up of like conditioned instinctual bodily responses. But at the heart of it, I'm excited. I'm excited to be saying goodbye to all of you.
That's because he knows you're a bunch of fucking morons, and he hates all of you. He despises you people. So there you go.
Yeah, I get a really, really spooky, weird hit from this guy on all kinds of different levels. Physically, the way he presents himself, the stuff that he's saying, and that rictus grin. Nobody smiles like that.
Well, we're about to take a look at his website, but hey, Doc, I have to take a piss. Can you like spin for 30 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do the Patrick John Coleman.
Yeah, we have a PJC update coming later. I'll be right back.
Okay, audience, it's just you, me, and a green screen here, and some Benito insanity. how is 2018 looking for you guys? For Patrick, it seems that he's rehashing his I have an altar full of plastic crap, and it's all super magic. Because he says so, and he'll take you out to set up your own altar for $199 plus costs at your local Salvation Army store. None of it really grabbed me, and I'm looking for what I'm going to be doing on the Doc Savage News Network. I've been exploring some interesting liars, dishonesty being the focus of what I'm interested in talking about. But they tend to be only Christian young earth creationists, and it's a soft target that's been addressed many times before. So get back to me if you have any kind of ideas or requests, because I'll be actively making videos in the next 2 to 4 weeks before heading off to Africa on my next mission. That said, I look forward to the remainder of the show. We're going to have more Benito and some updates from various of your favorites. Welcome back, Michael.
Howdy. Sorry about that.
I just did a gratuitous plug for the Omnieros merchandise store and the Doc Savage News Network. But our primary product, guys, you can now change your star sign and choose your own horoscope. 1995, we will mail you the certificate, whatever you need, from Scorpio to Aries, 1995.
You know, we're also going to begin to introduce some new items to the store. Actually, we're beginning, first it's called Urine University, if you want to pronounce it correctly. And we are going to sell, you know, we'll get into this later in the show. You have been able to buy a Law of Attraction Practitioner certification for years. We're going to start selling Law of Gravity Practitioner certifications. What else? We're going to sell urine conjuring certifications. So if you want to become a urine conjurer and sell your urine, you can get certified for that. We have a lot of great products coming up in the coming weeks, everyone.
Yeah, we can do online chakra transplantation.
Yeah, you can become a chakra surgeon.
Yeah, Kundalini alignment.
That's a big one, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, the 1995, it's going to be off the shelves like you wouldn't believe. And all of this can be done in the comfort of your own home, no postage and packing, over the internet.
Hey, I have a question. Is the video stuck on the playlist for everyone? I'm trying to...
I think so. We were getting into Benito and we were going to his website.
I'll stop sharing. There we go. Problem solved. Okay. All right. So we do have more Benito to get to here. Let me see what I have. Do you guys, we want to take a look at his website, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me get it pulled up here. This guy charges a ridiculous amount of money for some of his fucking bullshit. BentinoMassaro.com. I saw upwards of over $1,000 for like 20 hours of video that this guy was sharing on his academy. Get the screen shared here. Application, BentinoMassaro.com. Okay, you guys can see BentinoMassaro.com. It's now pulled up as the primary image. Let's take a look at his, get rid of this. Bentino Massaro TV is actually his website. I went to the wrong website. We can do browse. Let's take a look at some of his videos, see how much they cost, guys. First off, he makes upwards of $60,000 a month on his subscriptions for his website alone, where you get a bunch of these videos that you see here. But he also charges for many videos.
That's $730,000 a year, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't always make that, but that's what he's making at the height. It was a, you know.
Yeah. This guy isn't hurting for weenies, and listen to the bullshit that he sells to the rubes.
But there's one of these schools, I saw it yesterday, for 20 hours, titles available for purchase. View all. Here, let's take a look at these, okay? You would think, oh, so you're buying the retreat. You're paying $12.99 for the retreat. No, you're not. You morons. You're paying for 10 videos, $1,299 for 10 videos. You click on this, it's 19 plus hours of video, instant streaming, yours forever. Only $1,300. What a deal!
Yeah, and look at the luxury retreat thing with the dates and such like.
Yeah, it's over. So you're paying for the video, $1,300. I want to meet the person who shelled out $1,300 for this fucking video.
I want to meet the people who thought they were buying a holiday that shelled out for this.
Look at this too. $500 for 20 videos here. $400 for 26 videos. You buy 5 videos for $149. That's a damn good deal, actually, compared to some of this other fucking shit. But this is outrageous. How can he get, does anybody pay for this?
Well, based on his tax returns, yeah.
I can't believe this is insane. This is like, you don't get this when you subscribe to his website. You get a discount off of these prices when you subscribe to his website. So
yeah, but check this out. Sedona Endless Bliss Retreat. Not for you, Benito, given that you jumped the first plane heading fast out of there.
Yeah, he got right the fuck out of there.
Yeah, the minute your tribe start doing the things you suggest, whoosh, he's gone. Like a fart in the wind.
Well, you know, there's so much more to get to about Bentino. Like I said, guys, we have a lot of shit to mention about Bentino. Let me just find my notes here. So we mentioned the suicide. We've shown his prices. You know that he's on the run. Did you guys know that Bentino Massaro has magical powers too? For instance, he can turn into a dog, and he can bilocate, and he can teleport. That's what he claims.
He can also dress up like
now than you did a year
at night.
He probably does. He's probably like Norman Bates, but Teal Swanna's mother instead.
Yeah, Bob hasn't been able to confirm that. Speculation at the moment, but apparently Bentino and Teal may in fact be the same person.
Or at least, you know, genetically related. But yeah, so, you know, by the way, guys, Bentino's not the only person that takes a hit off of Teal Swan. A lot of the people we've covered here on this show, like from Patrick John Coleman to just like any of these random psychics, even Christine Pavlina, they all take their hints from Teal Swan. Like they all kind of emulate that whole thing. So Teal Swan is a very influential and very dangerous person. Here we go.
He looks kind of like Robbie Williams there a little bit.
Well, he'll never have the kind of money Robbie Williams had.
He already does.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Robbie Williams doesn't have any money anymore.
He's been selling magic rocks and fake holidays for as long as he's been shaving, which is about 6 months by the look.
Guys, this motherfucker sells vape juice, okay? He sells fucking vape juice. He is a degenerate.
You look much better now than you did a year ago. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Which helped inspire me to ask. Well, I appreciate the courage of asking that. That's awesome.
I appreciate the courage of insulting my appearance.
You can even change your facial structure. You can change your height. You can change your muscle mass. You can change your flexibility. You can change the quality of your skin. You can change your hair color. You can change your eye color. In fact, you can change anything about your body. In fact, you can change into a different being.
No, you can't. Bollocks. Michael?
You have to.
Yeah.
Quick question. In the past, watching this guy in a cursory way, I thought, I'd like to fight him. But you know what? I think you could take him. I think
I
could
take him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to say what he would do for me. It would get me flagged. Yeah. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear him say
different being? You can change into a different body. You can change into a dog if you had to, or one.
You can change into a dog, Doc. How scientific is that?
I've changed into a lizard from time to time, but you know,
Me too,
chemistry.
but
What can
can't
you
help
do?
it. It happens during moments of rage. How can we help that, huh?
Well, I'm going to quote someone I had the honor of appearing with on a thing recently, Aaron Ra. If you can't show it, you don't know it. Change into a dog. What kind of dog would you be?
Yeah, he can bilocate, teleport, shapeshift into a dog. Why don't you just show us? Stop saying it. You got a camera right on your fucking ass. Shapeshift into a dog, bitch. That's what you're claiming you can do.
Scooby-Doo. But, I mean, people give this guy money. I can change into a dog. Okay.
Let's
Prove
see it.
I
would give him, if he could change into a dog, I would throw money at this motherfucker. Take it.
Well,
Take my money.
Apparently, there's an option for that on the website. If you want to actually see him change into a dog, you have to pay like $9 grand.
Yeah, and he will do it, but you have to be under heavy influence of LSD when it happens. Of course, he does explain why he cannot do these things. Let me find it here. I'm blocking my alien superpowers.
And that would
To
heavily
serve humans.
and detriment the purpose of me being here. So now for me, it's enough to simply know that that's what I'm capable of.
It's good enough for him to know that he can bilocate without actually having to do it. So,
yeah, and looking at this guy, I hate to be brutal, but I am, and it comes across. This guy has the skins of children drying in his attic.
Hey, he's probably friends with Dave Schroeder. There's something super creepy about him. Like, I could see him killing somebody. He looks like that kind of guy, doesn't he?
His face doesn't move. He's like he's been shot full of Botox, which is maybe possible. He's actually 43 years old.
That would be great. I think he's early 30s, but I don't really know for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, for anyone interested,
it's hard to tell when people drink human blood, you know?
Yeah, let's see more of this guy, because he gives me the willies.
Oh, it gets so much better.
That's who I am. And that's what's actually possible. So I need to execute. I don't need to execute it in order to feel good. I don't need to prove it to anyone or myself.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, exactly. If you're making the claim, then you do need to prove it. Because if you don't have any interest in proving it, don't make the fucking claim, you idiot. What do you think? How do you think this works?
You may be cute, but if you can't show it, you don't know it, you little bitch.
I don't know. I don't even think he's cute. There's something super creepy about him. Like, I could see him covered in blood real easy.
Yeah.
Not his own blood.
Or, walking through from the back room with a severed hand in a Ziploc bag.
For one of his rituals. No, he bilocated it. He took it away from somebody using his powers of bilocation.
But again, look at the face. The eyes move, the mouth moves. We can't see the hands here, but there's something that's just uber
He's
strange.
shape-shifting into a reptilian. All right.
Let's see more.
So now I accept the fact that at certain timings, things will be unlocked to me as it is relevant and as it
when
will
he gets experience points.
My focus here, which from my soul level is the most important thing. It's not more important that I'm able to teleport and bilocate and levitate and move mountains at will. That's not what's most important to me.
He can move. Oh shit! Clicked off of that video. He can move mountains at will, but of course he has to flee to Maui the second there's a controversy about him.
Yeah, levitate, change into a dog. You know what? Fuck you. You're not even good at this.
He doesn't have to prove to you that he can bilocate. It's enough that he knows that he can do it. He doesn't even have to prove it to himself.
I don't.
So, because if he could, this narcissistic motherfucker would be showing all of us his bilocation powers. Trust me.
I'll pay $100 to have you kick his ass, because I think you could do it.
I don't like to hit women, so I'm against that.
You could do it in 3 minutes, and I'm going to be your Don King on the Tard match.
I don't want to fight him. He'd probably throw sand in my eyes and jab me with an Ebola syringe. Seems like the kind of guy that would do that, doesn't he?
He'd scratch your eyes for sure. But, you know, the serious side is, despite this guy being a blatant, vulgar charlatan and advising his following to off themselves with impunity and profiting from it, he's on the lam. Kabuki Bob in pursuit, but
We'll
actually
catch him.
in a nice place. Yeah. Should I ask Magic Dan to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Magic Dan is our ally now. Remember, he's one of the unofficial psychic vampires.
Yep.
You know, one thing we forgot to mention with this guy, he has his followers do some very curious activities, like dry fasting for 10 to 108 days of dry fasting. And he's also a big fan of polyphasic sleeping, wherein you sleep for 2 hours, get up for 2 hours, sleep for 2 hours. So he's keeping his followers in a state of constant nutritional deprivation and trance-like dream state, while he tells them he can bilocate and teleport, and then takes their money.
I am very interested in seeing this stuff, and I'm now going to take off the Savage hat and put on the Doc hat, and if necessary, comment around the biochemistry and various intimations of torture involved in this guy's selling campaign.
Don't you think it's interesting that he keeps his follower, like, he doesn't force them to, but he strongly suggests for a better spiritual path that you starve yourself of both nutrition and hydration, although he does have a cheat. You can drink grape juice, but he still calls it dry fasting for some bizarre fucking reason. So if you want to survive on grape juice for 108 days and sleep every 2 hours, then go right ahead, moron.
Yeah, he probably sells the grape juice. Let's see his video.
This video is where he describes his plan for the future. He wants to start a city called Trinfinity City, because Trinfinity is the name of his academy. So he wants to start a city for all of his followers, everyone. I can't wait for that to manifest.
Yeah, Jonestown.
Yeah, he's leading up to that. Trust me.
Sure. Well, my vision is to buy a large, amazing piece of land.
Okay.
And to start a new city of sorts.
Wherein he is the center of the nexus, and all people rotate around him as though they are caught in the gravity of the sun. The city will be, he'll have statues of himself plastered all over this fucking city, and he'll have laws that he created that everyone has to obey. Of course, the city will never manifest because he's a delusional retard, and nowhere in the United States would ever allow him to have any kind of dictation whatsoever over its laws. But that's his goal, everyone, to have a city where everyone worships him. What a shock.
Here's a reflection on inequality in the developed world. He's, I guess, a relatively young, rich white man who can wander around selling crazy, inspiring people to off themselves and flee to a holiday resort.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if this guy was a 60-year-old bum on the street saying the same nonsense and saying, give me money? You might give him a quarter.
I don't even think I'd throw the quarter at his head as hard as I could.
Yeah, I want to make a new city, and I'm going to be Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah, the only reason he's being taken seriously because he's young and fairly attractive and seems to be successful, although that successful, of course, fall apart now that his entire scheme is finding its own cracks. But he's pretty much set about his own end. He could very well be that homeless man sitting on the street talking about Trinfinity City one day, Doc.
Yeah, and he might have some interesting stories to tell. But with this guy, I'm still not sure that he's actually not high-functioning, autistic, or otherwise.
He believes it. He believes for sure that he's got these powers, I think. I don't think... Well, he probably knows he can't bilocate and teleport, but he probably does believe he's some kind of spiritual leader. Like, his head does appear to be shoved that far up his own ass.
Yeah, well, I hope he's got a good lawyer, is all I can say, because based on the lambist tendency after a tragic death, the guy's going to spend some time in a secure environment? Maybe.
There's probably not, honestly. There's two suicides connected with him at this point, and I have a feeling that there will eventually be 3, and then 4, and then maybe, who knows, maybe it'll jump to 100,000. Who can say with people like this?
Well, it's hard to know, but this is a recurring theme in the TARDIS sphere. At the above street level, the guys seem to not have too much concern over the long-term survival statistics of their herd, based on maybe 1 in 100 actually doing the deed and 99 paying them $19.95 a month.
Yeah, he gets 22 a month for his subscriptions, and he's making like tens of thousands of dollars a month off of that alone. So this guy, like, he's got his scam pretty figured out, but I guess he wasn't assuming that people would pay attention once people started dropping like flies. I guess he didn't expect that to happen.
Well, do you think he maybe had a moment of clarity when someone was actually on a slab? And
well, we'll see his moment of clarity soon, because he has a video that he just put out yesterday. So we'll see if he's had a moment of clarity. I'm guessing no.
I've not seen that. I've been holding off on it because this is kind of a personal thing with me, given my past that I've discussed. So bring it on.
Well, we'll get to that. Next, though, I want to show you what he thinks of your friends and your family, everyone.
Fuck your relationship.
Look at that guy nodding.
To your parents, to your family, to your friends, to the people around you, to me. Fuck your relationships. They mean nothing.
Okay, I would stop him at that place. And if I was Chicken George there, I'd punch him just up the right side of his jaw. Motherfucker. Fuck your relationships and your horrible shirt and your brown
pants. Fuck you,
pants.
Bentino. Like, fuck you and fuck your stupid cult. And you know what's funny is he's telling all these idiots in his audience, I don't want to say idiots, they're not all idiots. They're misguided, sad people who have no direction in life, and they get sucked into his fucking black hole. But he's saying, fuck everyone you know, just replace them with me. Fuck it. I'm the one you all need to cling to. Everyone who actually cares about you and wants you to have a good life, fuck them. Just give me your money and I will be that person for you. That's what he's saying. He's fucking disgusting. And we see how that works out, don't we?
Yeah, and that's a common theme in the cult handbook. Isolate, change the chemistry by weird diets and strange beliefs like drinking your own piss.
This guy's Jim Jones, man. He wants to be Jim Jones.
Yeah, and it ends in one way. A guy being worshipped by people whose fragile sensibilities eventually crumble, and then everyone has to die. But beforehand, prepare to be fleeced.
You know what's really disgusting is his audience and these people who follow him consist of the most fucked up, weak, vulnerable people in society. They're so vulnerable, they need a messianic figure because they cannot save themselves. He's literally preying on the weakest fucking people in society.
And to be very clear, let's see, I'm old, so almost 30 years ago, I was one of those kids.
Well, you know what? This never ends either. Let's say Bentino Massaro goes down tomorrow. Something happens, he goes to jail. Probably will never happen, but when he goes down, some other motherfucker will just arise. It's like the Hydra. You cut off one head, 9 more fucking pop up.
Yeah, and there's a comment about humankind here, in that most people are not evil motherfuckers. But in a certain group of population, a few percentage points are going to be opportunistic, and some of them are going to be psychotic, and some of them are going to be downright evil. And they will do whatever they have to do to exploit a living out of the rest of people. Most people don't respond. Some people aren't very bright. Some people are bright but easily led. Very few are evil. We're talking about the 1 to a limited percentage of 1% of people who don't care where their next meal comes from as long as they don't have to earn it, and they don't care about you surviving. Okay, rant over, but these guys are a disease.
It really is. It's like a psychic cancer. But we're speaking about him being a predator. Let's listen to him actually speak as though he is a predator.
And then I go sit behind my television, watch the news, and wonder why the world has gone to shit in one reality. And then I blame everyone else for not doing anything.
By the way,
then I blame spiritual teachers.
That weird, the audience like weirdly laughing at that cue. Like, what's funny about that would cause that canned laughter to pop out? They are completely brainwashed. They are reacting to cues. Even their emotional reactions are cued. He has got them programmed. Like,
yeah. I mean, this is Cult 101, but Michael, what's up with his flowers?
I don't know. He's got the flowers everywhere. Maybe that's some kind of subliminal thing. I have no idea.
They're terrible. I mean, who made that?
I don't know, but it's a common theme with his videos. I'm noticing here.
Yeah, he's really trying to present, you know, I'm not gay. Look at my sucky flowers.
Yeah, gay guy would have much better flowers. He said, but he's thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That they're abundant, that they can be rich, that they can fulfill their joys, because there's so much badness going on there. Not that I do anything about it, but hey.
Give me your money.
Pretty good over here. So the more you become a lion or a lioness.
Lioness.
The more you become a lioness.
Yeah, I'm more like a 900-pound fucking grizzly bear, you scamming motherfucker.
Well, he's almost to the good part.
Absorb and digest all the sheep around you. And spit them out. Consumption is love.
Digest all the sheep around you. Become a lion or a lioness. Literally, become a predator. Good job, buddy. You're hiding it real well. No one can see you for who you really are at all.
Buy my fake holidays for $1,500 and, you know, kill yourself if you want to.
Yeah. Kill yourself if you don't want to be eaten by me. Fucking asshole, man. You know, I have also clips of him saying fuck you to his own audience. And then also afterwards, he draws out a diagram to explain why he's allowed to say fuck you to you and why you're the one with the problem if you don't like him saying fuck you to you. He draws a fucking diagram. Like, that is how completely far up his own ass his head is shoved.
Do you think Christine Pavlina has been given him presentation skills classes?
I think so. You know what? Before we watch him say fuck you, let's watch him explain why he tortured a kitten when he was a child. Because, you know, that's a common theme amongst serial killers.
Play their game is through using your weakness.
Round 144.
Exploiting your weaknesses. So basically you agree to be used.
Is it here?
Others is
Michael? Michael, please pause for a second. My gaydar just went right off the scale.
Oh, I thought mine's been going off for, you know, since I first saw his picture.
You know, as my official gay friend, am I on the right track here? What do you think?
I think that chances are 9 out of 11 that he's a huge bottom. That's what I think. Personally. You know, in an alternate reality, he's a member. You know what? I'm going to stop with the gay porn jokes. I'll save those for my private life. But I was going to say Bellamy. I was going to say he should be on Bellamy.
I would say 9 out of 10 on my scale. He's a girl.
But unlike a lot of gay men, he tortured a kitten. Gay men love kittens, but this guy tortured one. So do not have sex with him, gay men. He tortured a kitten.
Old, and we had this little kitten. And at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about these influences. I didn't have the word sort of concepts for them, right?
He's speaking of dark entities, in case you're wondering.
So we had this little kitty cat. It was like 2 months old, and we walked her on a leash still to get her familiar with, you know, where the house is and all that stuff. So at some point, I remember I had her on this leash. I was in my yard. I just came back from walking her, and something took over my body, or so it seemed, and there was this prickly bush right here. So I just watched my...
Doc, are you getting creeped out yet?
Yeah, I totally
See where
am.
this is going, right?
There's a thought in my mind. Many of the people watching this in the cultures they exist in will be more horrified by the murder of a kitty cat than by the 2 recent suicides.
I don't think that he murders the kitty cat, but the cat may have later gone on to commit suicide because of the torture of Bentino. So who really knows?
Myself for about 20 minutes. She would run out of it, and I would pull on the necklace and like land her right in the prickly bushes, and she would run. And I saw my body do this, and I was crying, but I couldn't stop myself. Just something took hold of my body, and I identified with that, which is
So the kitten is on a leash. He drags it into a prickly bush. The kitten runs. He pulls it back over and over and over again. And it's because his body was taken over by dark entities that he didn't understand but identified with. Okay, he should never be locked up. Never. He's totally sane.
This sounds very reminiscent of something we're both extremely familiar with. This sounds like the Patrick John Coleman Goblin defense.
Yeah, it is. It is the Goblin defense. He's actually using the Goblin defense. Wow. That's amazing. I just think it's, it's a common characteristic of serial killers that's well known that they torture small animals. And this guy is admitting to torturing small animals. He's telling people to kill themselves. People are actually doing it. What don't all signs point to potential psychopath?
I can't diagnose, but I will say that this guy gives me the willies 6 ways from Sunday. And the animal torture thing, absolutely. This is not a good sign for the future. He resonates with me in a number of different ways. Patrick John Coleman, David Schurter, but this guy is upper level because he's making a damn fine living on it.
He is. He is making a ridiculous amount of money off of this garbage. All he's got to do is sit in front of a camera, tell people to kill themselves, and like, oh, we haven't even watched him zone out. You guys want to see some psychopath eyes? You just wait. We still have tons of video on this fucking freak of nature.
Yeah, and the delightful thing about this guy is if he ever does anything that is reprehensible, illegal, potentially immoral, and destructive, he can go, goblins made me do it.
He already has. All right, so let's wrap up with this guy. First, I want you guys to see his crazy psycho face, and then we'll see his update from yesterday. We'll see what frame of mind he's in. Does that sound good to you, Doc? And then we'll take a short break.
Sounds good.
All right, well, this video is called The Self.
Behind them, beyond.
I'll let it speak for itself.
You. The self.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it just completely, this is what it does for the rest of the video. Just this face, this interesting face. What's going on behind those eyes? And the audience is just sitting there like perplexed or entranced.
I'm going into a psychic trance at the moment, and
Yeah.
I'm reading behind these eyes a lot, and this is not for diagnostic purposes, but what I'm getting is kill them all. Kill them all.
I think that's probably correct.
Give me money and kill them all.
And also, suck dicks. Suck them.
Do you think that if this guy actually had a boyfriend that looked after him, he would recover from this nonsense?
He just needs somebody to be his mommy figure. That's all. But, well, you see, that's what he. Imagine what he does in private. Does he also do that in private?
Yeah, I think this guy is completely unfiltered. But if we're moving on, give the audience a 30-second sum up of this guy, his situation, why he's there, and how he profits from it.
Well, first, let's see his update from yesterday so we can see his frame of mind. This is the collective energy update. What did it say? Collective energy update, massive shadow purge detox happening. That's what the suicide is a massive shadow purge detox happening. That's what that suicide was, everyone, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, and before we start, check this out. The guy hasn't shaved for probably 5 days.
Yeah. Takes him 5 days to get that much facial hair.
He hasn't brushed his hair or his eyebrows, and both were carefully plucked and preened, and he didn't even bother to shut the crapper door. So at that point, I think this guy is, you know, tipping point.
Maui. He's being lazy. He's like, it's lazy time in here in Maui.
I ran away to Maui on a trawler boat because my acolytes offed themselves because I told them to and give me money.
Do you think he views himself as the bigger victim than the guy who actually killed himself? I have a feeling he thinks that he is the bigger victim in this scenario.
Why don't we find out?
Let's see about this shadow purge detox.
Nice to connect. I wanted to update you or give you another angle on the intense energetics that sense are happening collectively at this time.
I want to give you an update on the intense energetics that are collectively happening. Do you mean the suicide? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, he's talking about the jungle animals that he's seeing out the corner of his eyes every time he looks to the side.
I just want to give an update on the intense energetics that are happening right now. Okay, all right.
As I struggle with the complications of reality with regard to
how my motor functions work.
Look at the eyes, kids. Look at the eyes.
Those are some tiny pupils. I'm not saying nothing about that.
You know what? I don't think he's in Maui. I think he's in Akron, Ohio, and I recognize that room.
Yeah, I stayed in that hotel room once on a very dark and depressing, lonely night. I recognize it too.
Yeah, I punched through the wall of that living room, right behind that picture where his head is at.
The hole was still there when I checked in, Doc.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah,
So-
we had the same room.
So Akron, Ohio, I have buddies there. So Davis Crowley and Mike, head on over. You know, I think it's Hotel 7.
Hey, did they already have the camera and the smoke detector when you checked into that room, or was that after you checked in?
Oh, that was before, but I pissed on it.
Oh, yeah. It was making weird frizzy noises, so...
Yeah, that was me.
I peed on it, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost a tradition at this point.
You know what?
So,
we gotta go back and check into that hotel room just as, like, you know, it'll be a thing we do every year.
yeah, I mean, we can do that. But let's continue this guy who's allegedly in Maui on the Lam, Akron, Ohio, Hotel 7, Highway 42.
Motel 7. Not a
Yeah, sorry, Motel 7, Highway 42, room 49B.
They had interracial porn on the screen, like on all the channels in the room. Did you have that too?
I didn't, but I had Spectrovision, which is like hairy bobbing man-ass and a wah-wah pedal.
Oh, okay. It was the same thing. It was just interracial when I checked in. They were more updated.
Yeah.
All right, let's
go back to Jesus in Motel 7.
better than Jesus. He's 8th dimensional.
And the way it's been feeling for me is like this constant pressure in the air. And like I said in my most recent article, I'm not clouded by the events that has happened surrounding my own environment and circumstances.
He will not mention the suicide. Just mention it. We all know what you're talking about, asshole. Address the controversy directly rather than through your weird fucking code language. Look at that face. He's thinking.
I admire the whiteness of his teeth.
He's got a good... His teeth are pretty white. He's probably using xylitol.
And it's long enough to be able to sense that something's going on and something's going on. And it's cool. It's good.
He is awfully smiley for a guy whose devoted follower just jumped off a cliff a couple weeks ago, isn't he? He's pretty happy about it.
Xanax.
Got that crazy psycho smile.
Xanax and a mini bar. In tears while dressed as Teal Swan.
Now I'm self-conscious about scratching my face.
But you know, I think this guy is actually delusional. I don't think he's an evil demon scumbag
Oh,
who's just.
But he is delusional. Yeah, those eyebrows are too arched for him to be pretending.
But look at them; they've grown in on the edges. Now, I'm a straight guy, and that guy needs the pluck.
He probably
because
doesn't have any drag shows this weekend planned, so.
Well, he's been doing so well on the previous ones where he looks like Barbie's boyfriend, and he's just letting himself go here.
I think it's sexy. He's so rugged and handsome.
No, he's not. Michael, he would last 2 minutes of a 3-minute round with you.
Yeah, I would beat him. I'm way more macho. I'm definitely more masculine and virile. Right, ladies?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I don't know about Doc. I don't know if he's on board with this, but I will be selling my own sperm as part of our upcoming business venture if any of you ladies want it. It'll be very expensive, but it will be available if you want to have my child. And I suggest you do.
Check out On the Eris News Network, merchandise store, fleecing the rubes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Coming soon, everyone. Literally.
Can we see more of Psycho Twink?
Absolutely.
I just want to give you some analogies and visualizations to better understand this. So, again, this is more on the New Agey empowerment side of things, not so much the direct teachings.
Not so much the suicide side.
A way to describe what's happening within the relative conventional world, or the illusion, if you will.
The truth is, he killed himself because there were dark energies flowing about Sedona as the center of the earth had let off an eruption of negative energy that needed— Shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He jumped off a cliff because you said it was kind of cool.
Yeah, because you fucking made it sound like suicide is just fucking fantastic. That's why, asswipe.
While he was paying $299 a day to stay at your day camp.
Disgusting. How much money do you think that guy gave to him before he... You know, I don't want to talk about that guy too much, just out of respect for him. But the fact is, like, this piece of garbage has caused more than one person to end their own life. You're fucking sick, dude. And I can't believe he's allowed to run around. The government should shut the shit down. Once you start telling people you should just kill yourself, like, that should not be allowed. I'm sorry, call that fascistic or whatever you want, but this is a danger and a menace to society.
But until that can happen, and maybe it's a good thing and maybe it's not, we're here all over the marketplace of ideas, and shine a light on you, you evil motherfucker.
You know what? This guy is Jim Jones 2.0. He's such a narcissistic drama queen. He's so into his own farts. He loves the smell of his own farts so fucking much that the second he knows there's no viable escape, he's going to tell everyone who surrounds him, if they really love him, to go ahead and drink the goddamn magic Kool-Aid and fucking kill yourself. And it will happen. This will happen again because of people like him. It may not be him. It may be someone who arises in his wake. Who knows? This shit is going to happen again, everyone. Mark my fucking words.
Yeah, until the end of time. But at least some people are there to actually make fun of these idiots and laugh in their faces. And this guy's not in Maui, Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, he's in Akron.
And I say the word illusion with a lot of love. And
with love.
So
I tell you to kill yourself with love too, everyone.
Actually, relatively conventionally, what's happening, in my opinion, is that indeed there is an energetic shift that is occurring. It's been occurring for...
I've heard enough. There's an energetic shift that caused this guy to kill himself. Fuck you. Fuck you for real, Bentino. You piece of garbage. You're a lowlife.
Yeah, you're a lowlife and you're going to be a theme until you get what's coming to you, you scumbag.
I wonder how this could end for him. I mean, I bet he's so scummy that he probably could be up to some kind of tax schemes. I don't want to speculate. I just want to throw out alternate reality possibilities. But he's going to get busted for something. Like, this is growing out of control. It's getting too big. It's cancerous. Something's going to happen to this guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have the sack to manage this, and I'm all about rehabilitation. So, you know what? Make a video, say, I was making it all up. I said some dangerous things and I profited from vulnerable people, and I'm going to give that money back, or at least donate it to, let's say, Doctors Without Borders or
He will
adult
change his identity
literacy.
and get plastic surgery before that ever happens.
You know, some legitimate thing, and say, I will go from this place and sin no more, as in telling the truth. I'd settle for that.
Well, I don't foresee that happening at all. This guy's going down like the Titanic. That's what I foresee happening.
How long?
See it happen. Goodbye, Bentino. Bye.
How long will Bentino last inside in a cell with the big, kind of hairy guy?
He may very well get some kind of special thing if he were to ever go to prison. But we're not saying he could go to prison over this. He cannot go to prison over what this person did. There's no way that he can go to prison on that charge. But, you know, maybe he'll be looked into and some other interesting things might be found out about him. Who could say, really?
Yeah, and in the interim, there will be regular Bentino updates as he continues as a Lamist from Akron to God knows where.
Who knows? Maybe he's actually going to hang out in Dan Shelley's bunker soon.
It could happen, but we'll do a Bentino forecast, because I'm thinking the Strip, some dingy coffee bar. He could show up anywhere near. So if anyone sees Bentino, please contact the show.
I predict he is going to go back to Sedona, and he's going to try to act like this never happened. That's what I think is going to happen.
That's interesting, but one of my operatives suggested Escondido.
Oh my God, Escondido. We don't talk about Escondido here on the show. So he's, I don't know. He's. Oh, by the way, everyone, he is copyright striking videos of himself where he says particularly heinous things. He's trying to get them removed. So be aware he is trying to censor the truth about himself. But copyright strike this video, Bentino. I mean, all of these clips are saved. You're not gonna. Oh, he's not watching this. I don't want to talk to him.
No, he's not watching anything because he doesn't have an internet connection, given that he's in the scummiest motel in Akron.
Well, do you have any final words on Bentino before we take a break?
I've just met this guy, but from everything that I'm seeing, steer clear of this character. Dangerous, and I don't know what his flavor is, but Jesus, I don't want to be in the same space as this man.
Yeah, he's a terrible human being, and I hope everyone realizes that. But my final thoughts on him are just I can't wait to see what happens. And I can't wait to watch him squirm and try to pretend that he had nothing to do with this fucking suicide.
Yeah, and, you know, this is a family show. We talk about drug abuse, suicide, child abuse, all kinds of interesting stuff. But there is some humor involved in it, and at least Bentino is kind of halfway cute, I guess. And look at those teeth. Jesus. Are those painted? Is he photoshopping?
I don't know. They're probably fake teeth. He probably can give good gummers. He's probably really deep into the twisted shit.
So, what do you have up next?
Well, after we get back, well, let me pull this up. Okay, after we get back, we have a few things to cover. We have prophecies for 2018. We have, of course, Dan Shelley, and we'll explain the Dan Shelley factor a little more during that segment. We also have a woman, God, I don't remember her name, named Rebecca something or other.
Oh, yeah, the great-granddaughter of the most famous president of the USA.
Yeah, no, that's Laura Eisenhower. So we're going to do a little bit of a segment on her. She wants to talk about how we need to rewrite alien treaties, and she was also on a secret Mars mission, and blah, 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 blah. She's completely insane, and she is really Dwight Eisenhower's granddaughter. I looked it up. I thought maybe it's a bogus claim and she's full of shit, but she is actually his great-granddaughter. I don't know.
Great-granddaughter, and I spoke to her on the telephone this afternoon, and apparently she is very interested in appearing on the show.
Oh, well, then hopefully we can get Laura Eisenhower. Our people need to talk to her people. We also have sv3rige. You guys may remember he was a faker pretending to eat raw meat and 70-day-old eggs. He is asking the question, is incest natural? And his answer is, Yes. So we're going to cover him. What else? What else? We have Patrick John Coleman update. Robin, you can come on for that if you would like.
Yeah, Robin, I got a bunch of texts about Patrick and third party and things, and I don't want to steal your thunder because it was terrifying to me. So maybe you can explain to the audience. I think it's an exclusive breaking news on Shaman Watch.
Yeah, so we would like you to come on if you want to, Robin. But yeah, that's what we have coming up. Oh, I think we have a Dolo.
Oh, Dolo, yeah.
Yeah, how the spirit travel through the ether. So that'll be great. He's the Archangel Uriel. I mean, I'm Michael. I guess he's Uriel. Steven's going to have to verify that, though. I don't think he is Archangel Uriel, personally. What do you think, Doc?
Well, my interest in Dolo is his 30-second interesting rap version Ebonics introduction, and then 25 seconds of pure, unadulterated, incomprehensible gibberish. But he's worth an... Dolo has 7,500 subscribers. Let that all be said.
Okay, yeah. So we have Dolo coming up, and he's a flat earther too, everyone. And he also has some interesting tics when he's talking that might reveal a thing or two about him.
Yeah, and another thing in my condensed videos of Dolo, he drinks heavily on his own piss during the thing. He drinks his own pee and smokes the dank weed.
Oh, wow. Does he sniff Jenkum?
It's almost certain, but I'd have to ask a specialist about that. But Dolo is a classic. He explains the flat earth. He explains gravity, the sky. He's a fascinating guy, and he's a philosopher of 2018.
Yeah, he's a modern-day philosopher. Hey, before we go to break, one thing I forgot to mention, and I guess it's super important, Bentino Massaro is a starseed, and he is, in fact, a team leader for the starseeds. You would think that would be an important thing to mention, but I left it out. So I guess we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll be back in about 12 minutes.
Okay, muting now. Thanks to the audience. Join us later for another exciting installment.
See you shortly, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Nightmare. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong to vacation.
Welcome back, my retards, to the Magic Kool-Aid. Now, last week we discovered Ivan Teller for the first time, and the video that we watched actually didn't feature him channeling, which is his strength. So maybe I did a disservice to Ivan. Maybe he does know what he's talking about, and maybe he really can channel beings from space and beyond. This video is called Message from the Insectoids. It's an ET channeling session. Ivan is going to channel some insectoids for us. And in case you didn't know, yup, insectoids are real. They're like reptilians, but they're insects, okay? In case you were wondering what they are.
Online broadcast. Please subscribe to this YouTube.
No one's going to subscribe.
For more details,
in fact,
please visit
thumbs down.
ivanteller.com and learn more about your galactic families.
Okay. Let's get to it.
You're still with us?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be one more after this, but I can't remember. I think.
What's in these?
Oh, that's right. It was. Never mind. How about it?
Your files?
I was going to do a.
On aliens?
It happens. Not a. Just so you know, another Q&A thing.
What the hell was that? What's it called? Oh God. What the hell am I gonna do? Q&A thing? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Get your shit together, Ivan.
I haven't had any time somewhere now. So I'm gonna call it messages from the alien world or something like that.
Your quality's terrible.
Working on it. I was gonna do that tonight, but it happens too much. So, all right. The sectoids have a message, and then
good
speaking. So here we go.
The insectoids, they're like, hey guys, We really need to send a message to Earth. Let's deliver it through Ivan Teller. Everyone knows who he is.
Thank you for,
Oh my God! That's the channeling?
One thing I was, yeah, that's fine. That's when I finished.
Ivan, the bad Ivan. Talk about the insect people. Should have done this at the beginning of the damn video. You're still better than the other Ivan. Are they coming through yet? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Come on! Ivan! Oh my God, this is half of your video is this.
Oh, yeah, babe.
Uh-oh, that sounded real.
We are the insectoids.
They all
a fly species, if you're wondering, from Orion.
We are the insectoids. We speak as one. We're a fly species from Orion. Yeah, right. Why would an entire species of beings speak as one to one of the most irrelevant people on the planet Earth? Why? This is the best the insectoids can do. Are they retarded? They know that you're not President Obama, right? They understand that.
What are they? We are.
This is embarrassing, Ivan. You need to
Going
delete
to
your
continue
channel.
our messages with you over time as you begin to get used to our presence. Not many wish to channel us because they are afraid.
What? So far, you channeled the insectoids, and their only message is, we will continue to deliver messages to you? No, no. That's not going to fly here, buddy. No pun intended, because you're talking to fly people. Ivan, you're stalling for time because you don't actually know what the insectoids would say, because they're not real.
We only have so many places we can speak through.
Yeah, that's why they chose you, because everyone else is not strong enough
Your
to channel.
galaxy is our galaxy at one time.
Wait.
We have owned this area before your humankind.
The word area wasn't coming through,
Yes,
guys.
sometimes reptilians are here first, but we were here before they were.
Oh, the insectoids came before the reptilians.
They cannot fend us off. That's why we are still here.
This is a great channeling session. Just think of all the great information we're getting from the insectoids. They told us they're going to keep delivering messages to us. They told us they chose Ivan because not many people are strong enough to channel the insectoids. And we learned that the insectoids were here before the reptilians. The reptilians did try to get rid of them, but they couldn't fend off the insectoids. This is some great, believable information coming through from the insectoids of the Orion star system. I mean, really, Ivan, you should be paid for this. You're so good at it.
We all just getting along, aren't we?
Oh, they're sarcastic,
We're all
too?
pecking at each other, aren't we?
The insectoids are a very sarcastic race of fly people.
Your animals on your Earth, as you see, are always
What are they?
trying to eat each other.
Oh, yeah. They're not trying to eat each other. They're
Vibrations
doing
of
it.
your Earth have gone down such a miserable depth. But
You know that flies actually eat meat, right? You know that. Flies are not vegetarians. Just want to say.
you know this because you chose it. We did not choose this. You did. Human species was not always going to be the species on this Earth. At one time, it was going to be insectoid.
Oh, the species on the Earth was at one time going to be insectoid, everyone. Something went wrong, though, and the monkeys took over instead. This is just great information coming from Ivan.
This is going to be our planet at one time. But you can say we lost the battle. Well, kind of, because we're
Who
still
should take
here.
you
So we haven't
seriously?
entirely
You haven't
lost.
said anything that's even remotely verifiable. We have absolutely no evidence that it's even possible for an insectoid-like species of the kind that you are referring to even exist. And why would a species on another planet grow from flies? This is a planet in another fucking galaxy. So how is it possible that they would develop just like a species that developed here on Earth? Or is there more to the story? Did they get on a big rocket ship and fly out to the Orion star system because the reptilians were fighting them? Is that where this is going? I mean, L. Ron Hubbard was much better at making this shit up than you are, Ivan. Maybe you should become a Scientologist.
Much of your, we can say this,
Oh my God.
much of your Egyptian history is insectoid knowledge. Meaning we
Based on
know
what?
much about it that has
How
been
do you know that?
lost by your
Oh, 'cause
other
you're channeling the truth.
extraterrestrials. Now,
So rather than actually explain the knowledge the insectoids would have, you simply say, well, all of the knowledge of the Egyptians is insectoid knowledge. Therefore, I have credibility as a channeler because that rings true.
not all knowledge is fully remembered by your extraterrestrials. We know much of it. Of course, we don't remember all of it.
Oh, you're really
Because
getting
many
on
of
a
those
roll here,
species were
Ivan.
wiped out.
You know what's funny? When he channels the insectoids, it's a lot easier to understand what the hell he's saying than when he actually channels himself. Isn't that weird?
But we do tap into the truth, such as all do.
Okay.
But as for a living species that connects,
How come it's
that
not
still
clicking and hissing
carries
like a boat would?
knowledge of histories of planets, we are one of the few that still carries it. Just like,
Hey, Ivan, do any insectoids ever channel human beings? Have you ever had an insectoid channel you back to their planet?
you would carry a treasure box of information, a history book with a true history. We are
You're
the
a bad
same as
channeler,
you
Ivan.
in that regard. To connect to your Earth's past is to connect to insectoids' past. But of course, there are other species that can do it too, also. To a certain degree,
Like the
they
deer
all have our
people,
points
or
of
the
view.
cat people, or the raccoon
But our
people?
point of view is quite different than others. What we do see, though, in your Egyptian past, much Lyran energy was there, more than you realize.
Lyran? Oh, the
Many
cat
of you
people.
do know. But for you newcomers out there,
I thought it was insectoids, though.
just to let you know, you're speaking to a talking flock.
Yeah, for all the newcomers who tuned in, just so you guys know, you're actually speaking to an insect person broadcasting into Ivan Teller's brain from the Orion star system. So you should all be impressed. And I'm sure Obama's impressed. He probably watches this crap needing to know what they're
But
talking
you do
about.
know we talk. Would you hear us as we fly by? Would you say, I love you, or piss off? One of the words. But we're not always that way. We're not moody all the time.
Okay. So the insect mindset is basically exactly the same as a human being's mindset. They have a grandiose sense of purpose. They're extremely narcissistic, egomaniacal, seem to think they know everything. Wow, doesn't it make more sense that you're actually making this up than that you're speaking to the insectoids? Because wouldn't they have a radically different worldview than a human being? They seem to just be like stupid humans. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 0.0 out of 11. Terrible, Ivan. Very bad. We're going to move on, but I don't think I'm done with you. But I will say, you need to dramatically improve the quality of your videos, because when you're mumbling as yourself and not channeling an alien species, the audio quality is so terrible that it's hard to even know what you're mumbling, all right? And that's an important part of critiquing your videos. So, we'll see you next time, Ivan. And I'll see the rest of you on the other side of the break. Hello. I'm back.
Hi.
Howdy, Doc.
Yeah, I have kind of fireworks going off in the background, or either maybe terrorist attack. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, you still have a couple hours till New Year's, right?
Yeah, it's all going to be fine. It might be Benito finally getting back at us over the.
Probably. Just say you're being fired at by members of his cult.
Yeah. Oh,
Doc
those
is
that.
being attacked right now by members of Bentino Massaro's cult, everyone.
Yeah, those very few that didn't leap off a cliff.
Well, I do want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I guess I forgot to mention that. Happy New Year, guys.
Oh yeah, that's probably what was happening. Happy New Year, everyone. 2018, another year of retardation all over the internet.
Well, 2018 will be a great year for the Order. The Order has many awesome plans in store for humanity, and we are looking to take over the world this year. Doc, I'm fired up about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, but the first order of business is the court-ordered psychiatric evaluation, because we got to take care of Dave Schroeder.
Yes, we cannot let
before
the Antichrist ruin our plans again.
yeah before we take over the world. This guy needs to be gone from YouTube, because as we all know, YouTube is the voice of God.
Well, he is technically gone from YouTube, but we all know he will be back in very short order. So can't wait for that.
Yeah, join us here for updates on the Antichrist countdown.
What do you think we should get into first? Let's save Patrick. Robin, we'll invite you on shortly. We'll do Patrick, let's say, after this one. Do you want to do prophetic visions first, Doc? Or, I mean, we have so many options here.
Yeah, happy New Year, audience, and prophetic visions for 2018. I think that sounds like a good place to start.
You want to start with Dan, or do you want to start with this Rebecca lady?
Let's go with Rebecca. She's higher on the Dan Shelley scale.
Warning, prophetic vision and dream.
He spoke one for thee. All your children shall be holy.
Beautiful.
Dreams awaken.
Jesus is pleased.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I wanted to share a couple of things with you, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently today. And before I even started this YouTube channel, God already knew what week I was going to start, and he knew everything. He knew all.
He wrote it on his calendar. Rebecca's going to start her YouTube channel this week and this day. I better write it down. He gave a huge shit about her channel.
Yeah, she's got the same face thing going on as Benito does. Eyes and mouth and nothing else.
Similar. They do look similar.
And what's up with your big blank top fireplace, girl? What's going on with that?
Look at that photo she has on the bedstand or wherever she's sitting. Not the bedstand, the table there, the coffee, whatever it is. I'm not cultured. Trust him. Trust him.
Jesus gives me money.
Look at that. Trust him. Yeah, okay. Bitch, like you can't remember that? You got to have a visual reminder? Of course, I'm not calling her a bitch. I'm calling myself a bitch, because women are not to be ever referred to that way on YouTube.
Yeah, so. That's just the background thing that she got from buying the frame at TJ Maxx, and she doesn't know that you're allowed to change it.
She'll put in a picture of Jesus when she figures it out. So let's see what else. Yeah. Let's see what her prophetic vision is that Jesus gave her.
Yeah, is it Happy New Year, we're all gonna die?
Yeah, you're all gonna die. I'm gonna punish everyone who doesn't agree with Rebecca.
Be no surprise that he gave me a dream the same week that I started my YouTube channel.
What a surprise. It is a surprise, Rebecca. I am personally shocked that the same week you started a YouTube channel professing to be a prophet of Jesus, God gave you a prophetic dream. That is a plot twist, the likes of which I would never have ever envisioned. So,
yeah, I actually had a prophetic dream as well. When I restarted my YouTube channel, Hunter Thompson came to me in a dream. And he said, take whatever you have and ram it hard up the ass of retards who prey on the vulnerable.
Did he tell you what was going to happen, though? Because that's more like an advice dream than a prophecy dream.
Oh, yeah. Fortune and glory.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a prophetic dream. I'm behind that.
Yeah, and I've done the science. I prayed to Shiva, and I prayed to Jesus, and then I prayed to Joe Pesci, and then Hunter Thompson, and Hunter came out on top. So there you go.
Well, you know, he's more impressive than Jesus. I will say, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up with these zombie face people who have the cult thing going on?
Very concerned with her appearance for somebody who's a child of the Lord, I will say. She said that she was not shocked that she got the prophetic dream, but I know she wasn't shocked because she prophetically predicted that she would have a prophetic dream. So that's why she wasn't shocked.
Yeah. Do you think there are some daddy issues here that, you know,
No,
if you missed a hug or two and then God talks to you in your head?
I'll be your daddy. This is getting dirty, Doc.
Okay, bring on blocked off fireplace, paralyzed face woman for Jesus.
You know how hard we try not to offend Christians here on the show. So.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's all made up, guys.
It is. We love Christians. They're the best.
I'll share it with you all.
Especially the repressed Christians are great in bed.
But after thinking about it, God made it 100% unquestionably clear that this message had to be released. So I will include scriptures with this. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I have my notes out. I've got my Bible. I've got everything just in case you see me looking down.
Yeah, she's got her water there too in case she gets dry mouth.
Yeah, but by the way, lady, I know the Bible better than you ever will. So show it or you don't know it.
I love the transition cuts. She cuts herself off in mid-sentence to do a really awkward, bizarre transition into like another statement. She just rambles on, and she's like, now that's a bit rambly for this 20-minute video. I better cut that out.
She reminds me of people who have just done a line of coke.
She's not that energetic.
It's like whatever's in your brain, it's just okay, come on. Bible, scripture, Jesus.
She's gonna hack up a turd.
Tell us the future, honey.
Let's see what she's got to say.
7, and I'm not going to read everything that I give you. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I'll leave it below in the description so you can read it for yourself. But some things I will go through. So 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 7. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, hence the selfie, hence all these.
Yep. That's the footnotes to the Bible. There will be terrible lovers of themselves in the last days. Footnote. Hence the selfie. That's totally what the Bible was talking about. Selfies. It was warning against selfies.
You know, I think back in about 2004, I think I went for dinner with this girl.
Oh, yeah? Did she look a lot better back then?
Yeah, well, I got halfway through the salad, and then I was like climbing out the bathroom window.
Yeah. You know what? You should just pick up the salad while it's still on the plate and bash her over the head with it and run out the front door.
Selfies steal your soul.
Yeah. That's totally. Jesus warned against the selfie, everyone. And Jesus thinks that selfies are a huge problem, hence him delivering prophetic dreams here to Cassandra. So.
Yeah, it's clear. Okay, Cassandra, give it to us.
What's going to happen, baby?
Works where people just glorify themselves all day long. And I'm not going to say that I've never, you know, I haven't fallen a victim to it too, but I have learned what to put and what not to put on social media.
One thing you should not put on social media are your prophetic prophecies of the year 2018 and about how Jesus is giving you prophetic dreams. Do not put that on social media if you ever want to have a normal job ever again. Jesus did not tell her that.
Halloween 2016, Cassandra put her pole dance session on the social media, and then she found Jesus, and it all became pious bullcrap.
Oh gosh, what a poor lady.
Cassandra, you were there back in the day. You were being honest with yourself, and you weren't shilling for a made-up story.
We're being too nice calling her Cassandra because Cassandra has myths and stuff written about her. This lady's just going to be laughed at in 1,000 years because all of this shit will remain on the internet, bitch. I'm the bitch, not her.
Yeah, and in the past she was known as Misty Meadows.
That sounds like a plausible identity for her.
Okay, tell us more of what Jesus is going to do to us.
He's going to burn us.
I'm not here to tear anybody down. I'm only here to build people up and edify. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so let's finish. People will be lovers of money.
People will love money in the end days? That is so unlike all the other points in human history. Nobody's ever loved money before now.
Yeah, this thing that's exchangeable for goods and services that has value to us at all times during our existence. Oh yeah, we're not going to covet that, you ignorant moron.
This is proof that we're in the end days. People love both themselves and money. Only in the end days would human beings ever do things like that.
Yeah. Okay, Cassandra, what's next? You're going to tell us, you know, come on.
Boastful, proud. Just look at all the pride going on in people. They don't even want to, take a look at themselves. They don't want to be accountable. Their own gods. Lovers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful.
Disobedience to parents, that's another new thing that never, ever, 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 ever happened ever in human history. She is right on, man. This is total prophecy here.
This is a classic of the Christian bollocks. You know, whatever prophecy you make are banal and self-confirmatory. Yes, there will be wars and rumors of wars, and people will do bad things and poke each other with pointy sticks.
People will sometimes get angry at each other or jealous of each other in the end times. Because everything was perfect up until now.
One guy will look across his fence and see his neighbor's wife's big bouncing boobs and go, mm-mm.
That never happened before. People never sexually coveted each other before these end days.
Yeah. And the self-same Christians will turn away from everything in the Old Testament, presumably including their 10 Commandments, because Leviticus says to murder the homos.
I love that her prophetic dream involves her reading the prophetic dreams of other people from thousands of years ago. Where is your prophecy? We've read the Bible. Come on, we're good Satanists. We've read the Bible back and forth.
Yeah, I'm hoping that someone is going to bring me a gigantic strawberry shortcake on Wednesday. Let's hear Jesus say that and let him follow through.
And if it happens, then you will know Rebecca is the real deal.
Let's hear what she has to say.
Without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, not lovers of good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Godliness, but denying its.
Who would love pleasure more than God? I mean, God does release dopamine into your brain, which causes you to have a lot of pleasure. But, it's totally different. It's not like that's a drug for the masses or anything like that.
Can she actually read, or is this a teleprompter kind of thing going on in her ear there? And is that a water bottle, or is that absolute vodka?
I don't know. It's probably filled with vodka, but I have a feeling if we look at her notes, we'll just see a bunch of pictures and arrows pointing around. So she probably can't actually read. Her Bible is probably also like a child's picture Bible.
Yeah, so. And that's cool as long as she doesn't try and justify slavery. So let's hear what she has to say.
Have nothing to do with such people. And listen to this, y'all. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires.
I am pretty sure that is not a verbatim quote from the Bible, but what do I know?
No, it definitely isn't. And there's the please abuse me because I'm a sinful woman, Eve Apple, talking snake bullshit. Sister, wake the fuck up. You're a proud queen, and if you don't know it, you need a guy maybe to tell you that.
Well, what if she's a lesbian? We don't really know. Maybe she needs a woman in her life.
Blue heaven.
That's, Blue heaven might fit the bill. I hear she's a lonely lady in search of another lonely lady. Do you want to skip ahead on this? Or she's just quoting from the Bible. It's actually a fucking, bore fest.
I think she's about a 3 on the Dan Shelley scale.
And a 10. Dan Shelley's a 10, right?
In that case, I'm thinking she's a 7. She's in the safe zone of harmless lunatic.
Yeah, she's not nobody's taking her seriously enough for her to be causing any fucking damage.
I mean, is she selling fragments of the true cross, her own piss, or magic rocks?
She's a mile above New Age scammers in terms of class. Let's give her that.
Okay,
that looks like a nice house. That looks like a nice house that she has.
The fireplace is bothering me, and she can use some of Benito's flowers.
I think the Lord has blessed her.
No, that's a hotel. You just know it.
A hotel with a. Or do you think she brings the trust him photograph along with her everywhere?
Yeah, almost certainly.
It's much better than Bentino's motel.
Yeah. So we've had suicide by decree. We've had words of wisdom from Jesus.
We have Dan Shelley still.
Dan, yeah.
Yeah, we have Dan Shelley. Then we have sv3rige defending incest, and then we'll bring on Robin for Patrick.
Let's do it.
Oh, so we still have Laura Eisenhower too. We'll just find if we go a little over.
I'm thinking Laura. Laura needs to be talked about more.
You want to skip Dan Shelley?
No, I think Laura may, in fact, if she comes on the show, we can do a whole thing.
Well, she is the granddaughter of Dwight Eisenhower, so.
And she has been to Mars.
She has, yeah, and she knows all about the Mars program.
She has dined on Matt Damon's shit potatoes.
Do you want to skip? Do you want to go ahead and do Laura next?
No, let's see Dan. Dan's a nice guy, and we've talked about the Shelley forecast.
Alrighty, so bring him on here.
How you guys doing?
And everyone.
It's the last day of 2017, and I received a prophetic.
He's still begging for money for him and his girlfriend. No, kids, just give him your money because he can't get a job because he's psychologically deranged. So.
Yeah, he's got difficulty paying his telephone bill, but he has buried 5 years worth of dried rations up the woods somewhere.
I love seeing this guy pop on and act all desolated, I don't know what we're gonna do, mate. I ain't got no money to pay me bills. I ain't got no idea what I'm gonna do in the next month. Oh, your donations last month really helped. Shut the fuck up. Get a job, fucking lunatic.
I've seen his garage, and he's got $5 grand's worth of camping and survival equipment straight out.
Fucking SpaghettiOs.
Straight out of Walking Dead. I mean, he's got the whole kit there, including the nice sparkly watch.
We're not going to be laughing when his prophetic dreams come to pass and we're all dead, but he's living like a king eating SpaghettiOs every day.
Yeah, but in the 12 months of last year, there were 9 independent apocalypse immediate warnings. The asteroid, there was FEMA camps, and I'm like, Dan, I've sent you the links to how this is bogus. No, but Jesus in my holy book. But Dan is sincere. He's just out of his mind.
You he does have a high Dan Shelley factor because he is Dan Shelley. So it's really hard to bash him because he's a very likable douchebag. But, he is still a douche. No matter how high your Dan Shelley factor is, you're still a Dan Shelley,
Yeah, and if you're organizing safe Christian communities in random woods all around the world, you're having an influence that may not be beneficial, Dan. So, settle down, take care of your dog, and I'll buy you Cheerios.
I think that God, I almost called him Dan Pratt. Every time we should have Dan Pratt and Dan Shelley in a cage match, right?
Dan Shelley would kick his ass.
2 Dans enter, 1 Dan leaves.
Yeah, young Dan would do it because, he's trained like a ninja to survive the apocalypse, but everyday life is a huge challenge, and, fair enough, Dan.
When you got more than 1 Dan, do you call them Den? It's like a plural for Dan?
I think the plural is Dan, like deer. But
what about the word Dankind? Do you think all Dans make up Dankind?
I think if we throw Magic Dan into the mix.
Oh, forgot all about Magic Dan. God, yeah, we got to throw him into the mix.
Magic Dan,
the wild card.
Dan Shelley, and Dan Pratt with Shaman Wiley as referee.
Oh my God, a 3-way match. Jesus Christ. Hell in a Cell. Magic Dan, Dan Shelley, Dan Pratt. Magic Dan wins though, right? Because he's impermanent. He can go through the cage because he's impermeable. He's like gas. He's a fart, basically.
Magic Dan is like the X-Men but 9th dimensional.
Magic Dan wins hands down that fight, I think.
So appearing soon on the Omni Eros News Network, Tard Wrestling cage match. mixed martial arts and magic spells, all inclusive.
Yeah, I want. There's going to be Hadoukens going on in there, all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, and it's going to be pay-per-view, guys, so it's $19.95 to the Omniverse News Network for live cage match, tarred fighting to the death.
It's 11/11 if you're a high-ranking member of the Order, so you'll get a bit of a discount on that.
33rd degree cage match.
Doc and I will also be selling this podcast for $1,300 after it's aired live. So if you want to watch the replay, it'll be $1,300. Okay?
That's right. So what's Dan got to say? Does he have his gun with him at this point?
He should not be allowed to have a gun.
Pray about this prophetic dream and weigh it up with the Bible. Okay? I received it last night. This is the last day of 2017 going into 2018, as you're aware. In my dream, I knew that this dream represent going from 2017 into 2018. I knew that's...
So let me ask you, Doc, how many times have his prophetic dreams ever actually come to pass?
0.
0 times, and yet he's still coming on and making videos about his prophetic dreams, even though he has literally been wrong every single time, and people still throw money at his retarded ass, right?
He also speaks in tongues and can cure your digestional disorders by Skype.
Well, he should do that to make a living then, and I would love to see some evidence that it works. But of course, is he Stone Cold Scammer, or is he just retard who thinks he figured something out? He's like, look, baby, how make some money, mate?
Dan's completely sincere, and I really think if we clubbed together and crowdfunded him a whole big thing of cookies, he'd be quite fine.
I want cookies now.
Mm-hmm. Dan, tell us what Jesus said to you.
What's Jesus got to say, mate?
In the actual dream. I'll share with you the best that I can remember from this dream, but I tend to have a habit of forgetting it.
Oh, yeah? What a good prophet. God's like, I'm going to send this prophetic dream to Dan Shelley. Now, he does forget most of the dream, most of the time. But let me just send it on down to him because he's got nothing better to do.
Dan's not heavily medicated and snoring like a ripsaw all night.
God needs to choose better prophets, okay?
So we've got the avians talking through Ivan Teller. We've got Jesus talking through Barbie's boyfriend. All of the spirits talking through Patrick John Coleman.
Especially the Nectar, the goddess of electricity.
And we've got Dan Shelley forgetting everything that he's told by his Jesus.
Yeah. God chose God, he was like, I'm going to give Dan Pratt. I'm going to give Dan Shelley faulty memory on purpose so that I can just have him become a laughingstock on the internet.
I was in a big army, very, very big army, as far as the eye could see.
Right.
Ranks and ranks of us soldiers, like, you know. I was wearing a kind of dark pale green uniform, and I was receiving orders, and we were receiving orders like a detachment or a squad, and they were marching us around the place, like, you know, and they were saying,
wow, what a prophetic dream so far, an army receiving orders and being marched around. If that happens at any point in the future, anywhere in the world, we will know for a fact that Dan Shelley is a fucking prophet for reals.
Yeah, Dan Shelley the night before was watching the Clone Wars and taking Valium.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. In fact, his dream probably was just him watching Clone Wars. He didn't even realize he was awake.
Yeah, so I had a dream about Giorgio Armani and Michael Hutchins. Mm-hmm. Does that make me a prophet? Or does that make me a sexually ambiguous pervert?
You know, sometimes there's a fine line. Maybe like Gandhi.
Yeah, you look at Gandhi and Jesus and Vishnu and all the rest of them.
Was he just a sexually ambiguous pervert, or was he just a straight-up pervert? I mean, I'm thinking straight-up pervert.
Well, like me, he hung out with the hookers and the junkies and the pimps and, you know, tax collectors, so it's all good.
Yeah, and he fucked his own mom. That's pretty perverted.
Yeah, just saying, if you have a dream about various individuals, Michael Hutchins, Giorgio Armani, it doesn't mean you're a prophet of God.
Well, it could, though. I mean, you know, the truth is out there. You never know. Anything could happen in this crazy, wild, wild world.
I have to mention it, and you know, all respect to Dan, he's been lovely to me in our exchanges. But Fat Damon, we have to call him Fat Damon.
Oh, I don't like to, you know, ridicule fat people like Fat Damon over here. I'm just kidding. I do it all the time.
Okay, let's hear.
We were all marching along in ranks, and we took a right wheel and then left wheel, and then we were marching up the street going along. And at one point in my dream, I stopped along with the ranks of many, many soldiers, and I looked as far as I could see, and all I could see were, I don't know what you want to call it.
Clones.
Battalions. It could be regiments. As far as the eye could see.
All I could see for miles were cans of SpaghettiOs with "Restart Flat Earth" written on the side.
And giant boxes of Captain Crunch.
I had a million boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese in me prophetic dream.
As someone who spends way too much time exploring these guys, one thing that's absolutely typical is they spend 90% of their videos talking filler bullshit. You edit this out and he says, Jesus talked to me and we're all going to fucking die. Just like I've said the last...
forever, you know?
Yeah. I edit Patrick and G-Man and Dolo, and it comes down to about 45 seconds of absolute gibberish.
Well, you know, I will say we had two prophets, and neither of them could shut their fucking mouths long enough about themselves to get to the part where they told us the prophecy. So, guys, I promised you prophecies for 2018. We didn't get any prophecies. What are we going to have? People who love themselves and love money, and an army with battalions. There you go, guys. 2018. That's the future.
Armies turning left and then turning right because Jesus and reasons.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, is the time right for the Patrick sex tape?
Almost. You know, well, you know what? Guys, we are working on getting Patrick John Coleman's sex tape. I was supposed to have it, but I was so lazy I did not pay the ransomers yet. But we will have Patrick John Coleman's sex tape. We're working on it. Almost have it in hand. We will unveil it live on the air.
Yeah, at the moment, Shaman Wiley remains locked in a giant freezer with big chains in a dark warehouse in the basement.
Because water, so he cannot spontaneously combust and escape.
Yeah, we've not yet raised the $5,000 ransom for the sex tapes, but we are trying for it, and you can.
$900.
Yeah, but we do have some bizarre writer's muse, Patrick John Coleman, weird communication that I haven't fully understood yet, but I understand we may have a guest who can come on.
Yeah, we'll have Robin on right after we show it, because I promised everyone. We have to show the fake raw meat eating, fake 70-day-old egg eating douchebag talking about how great incest is. We have to show it. We'll be quick.
Ventura. I've talked about cannibalism before and how nobody wants to talk about it. But when it comes to incest, nobody wants to even think about it. As a carnivore,
except apparently him. He apparently thinks about incest a lot because he made a video about it. So
I mean, maybe this is too weird to say, but I'd much rather incest than cannibalize.
That's true. Why not do both, though? It's more fun if you just do both.
Ah, the David Schurter effect.
Eat your siblings after you have corpse sex with them. There you go.
Right. So this guy's on a lovely beach in a beautiful part of the world. He's had a shower. He's brushed his hair off his gigantic forehead. Why not tell the world about incest and cannibalism?
Well, as nobody will be surprised, he is a fan of incest.
It's to consume what's closest to you for regeneration. And if you switch off what you have learned for a second,
so he's also in favor of cannibalism, in case you guys didn't catch that. He's in favor of it.
Yeah, he also sells his own piss on the internet and drinks it.
I'm going to get some of that. You think his piss tastes like 70-day-old raw eggs?
Same conclusion about sex. The word incest comes from chastity, so it's purely religious. All life.
The only reason people don't have incest is because of religion. As a doctor, how do you feel about that statement?
Well, I'm going to counteract one of his previous text statements that the royal families of Europe had incest or at least closely inbred relationships without consequence. One word, hemophilia. You don't know what you're talking about.
3 words. Prince Charles' face. That's what happens when you have incest. Nobody wants that.
There it is. Have you noticed one of the princes looks like Prince Charles, only healthier, and the other one really, really, really doesn't?
I haven't, but I don't want to speculate on that because I don't want to be assassinated. So.
Well, frankly, I'm more interested in cannibalism on the beach.
That sounds so good right now.
Comes from created species and races who appeared all over the earth where there was life, food. We were given the order to eat and survive. So all of these souls, Adam, Eve, and their children.
Do you think he made this video because he wants to fuck his own sister? Because I am thinking that would be probably a primary motivator.
I'm thinking fuck and eat, but you know, I always try and sit next to a kind of muscly guy when I'm flying international.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know, if everything goes tits up, I'm going to eat that bastard. And Michael, I would eat you.
You better not eat me, you son of a bitch. I have poisonous bodily reactions.
Actually,
Evolution created it so that I cannot get eaten.
I'd rather eat Greg. He'd probably roast up better.
Greg will eat you first. Come on, Greg knows how to survive. We'll all be roasting on spits.
So here we are, a bunch of smart guys doing a podcast, and we're talking to a douchebag on a beach who's saying, I want to fucking eat my sister.
Yeah. In that order. No, wait, not in that order. Opposite order.
Yeah, my sisters are lovely women, but, you know, neither one of those options kicks in.
Well, you know, he would gladly eat and fuck his own sister.
We are all related. There's still a lot of tribes out there who do it. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We get told about these genetic disorders.
Can I chime in?
Absolutely.
There are tribes who eat their dead, and you know what they get? It's a thing called kuru, which is equivalent to scrapie in sheep, which is basically Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And usually in their early 50s, they become gibbering gorks. So don't eat granddad's brains. Not a good idea.
And you know, if I think he's talking about incest here. If you have incest, you'll become a gibbering gork the moment you're born. So, you know, you win either way. If you're not retarded by the time you're old, just resort to cannibalism. But hopefully if your parents did their job because they're related, then you'll be retarded when you're born. You won't have to do that.
And I can't afford to go into this beach. So what is this guy selling?
I don't know. He's probably selling the body parts of his dead family members that he had.
A lot of claims, but no proof. Correct me if I'm wrong. I recommend watching this film called Family Instinct. It's a Latvian documentary.
It's a porno film, probably. All right. I think we got the point on him.
Yeah, and, you know, putting on the doc hat for a second, there are all kinds of biological things that make you reject your close relatives, especially siblings, as potential lovers. It's like, chemically.
It's not a myth that there are, like, birth defects and mental problems associated with it. That's a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, hemophilia is the classic one, but there are all kinds of issues. So this douchebag doesn't know a damn thing.
Sorry, I'm sending the link over here to Robin. No, he doesn't know shit. Except that he wants to fuck his sister and pretend to eat raw eggs.
And dude, what's up with the forehead?
I don't know. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, he's kind of going for the Klingon look, I think.
No, I was going to say Star Trek.
I think we should hook him up with Barbie's boyfriend, because I think they're on the same island at the moment.
Well, remember, Bentino's in Akron.
Well, based on room 49A.
This could be Akron. That looks like a beach in Akron, doesn't it?
I'm not sure about that. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
Hey, Doc. Hey, Michael. It's good to join the frat party once again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, darling. And all that stuff you sent me from Patrick and the thing, and I don't really get the whole scene there.
Well, before we get to Patrick, we're taking a vote. sv3rige is pro-incest. Doc and I are anti-incest. How do you feel about incest, Robin?
I almost threw up a little.
Anti, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said it.
Now, what about cannibalism? I am pro-cannibalism. I love it. My favorite. Doc,
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, Doc. How do you feel about that?
You fan?
In the right circumstances, I would be all for it.
All right.
But those are few and far between.
Robin, what do you think of cannibalism?
Well, were I stranded on the Andes? Hey, I have my survival knife.
Well, then I guess we're all pro-cannibalism, but mostly anti-incest. So that's where we land on the sv3rige scale right now, everyone.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Robin, as a self-hating lesbian, did you have a wonderful Christmas season?
Did you?
I certainly did. And, I asked my boss if I could take like a week's sick leave. And she says, why are you sick? I said, well, of 2017.
Say, I'm sick of your asking questions, bitch. That's what you should have said to her.
I sent her an email.
So there is some stuff going on with Patrick. And of course, we always just want to poke him in his nutsack because it's funny. But let's go ahead. We're going to run the Patrick intro because so much work went into it. It would just be a shame not to run it,
Oh, Barack Obama, fuck you! Fuck you for running this country. Look at this gorgeous... Fuck you, Barack Obama! You are the worst president ever! Ever! And you're a nigger.
There we go, everyone. Clap for Patrick. He always just astounds every time. What a classy lady he really is.
I love that he pauses in the middle to go, look at this lovely brown stained nicotine finger that I picked.
Silver, but they're still brown around the edges, bitch.
Yeah, those still are not clean fingers.
No.
I'm keeping an eye on it, and it's actually coming back. The brown finger rating is 3 of a possible 10.
Man, he's got some hardcore shamanitis. Sometimes you can see he's having like a shamanitis attack, like it comes out, his wart gets a little bigger, his fingers get a little browner. Sometimes it recedes a little, but one thing you can count on, like the rising of the sun, is that Patrick will always have a major shamanitis attack at some point.
It's like the jailhouse herp. It's got you for life, and every now and then it comes back. But I have a question for the panel. I keep an eye on Patrick. Shaman Watch never sleeps. Is he wasted or tweaking or smoking the herb? Something's up with this guy.
Yeah, he's always on something, but sometimes a little more something than other times. You know what I mean?
Well, I've noticed that I've spotted a couple of dildos in the background,
and the dildos have returned.
And he is repeating himself, usually 4 to 8 times in a particular video.
Do you think we can play Spot the Dildo with this Patrick Alter video that we're going to play today?
Almost certain.
Let's do. It's like, where's Waldo? Oh, Doc, you're brilliant.
If we can spot 3 dildos, it will have been a great 2017. However, if there's less than 3 dildos, and you know what we'll do? We'll do it like this. If there's 3 or more dildos, 2018 is going to be fantastic. If there's less, then it's going to be a bad year.
Let's do it. It's like the groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil.
This will be a yearly tradition for us. Spot the dildo with Patrick on New Year's Eve.
Let's do it.
All right, let's pull it up. Actually, Robin, do you want to explain what's going on? Is something going on with Patrick right now?
Right now, in the video of which you're speaking, or just...
just in general. Like, was he sending you a bunch of messages or something like that?
Amy? Patrick and Writer's Muse. What is the skinny on that weirdness?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know she's been counseling him on calming the hell down. But you know, he rarely takes advice. Well, never.
No,
And
he
so
always does the opposite of whatever he's advised to do, including by medical professionals.
yeah, so he's rebelling against Mama, and he posted that Vitali video.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
but
that's the one with 78 downvotes and 2 upvotes.
Yeah, but then he was speaking about having sex with a girl.
Oh, what an unlucky female.
And I know this came after she posted a really lengthy comment on one of his YouTubes about meeting him in Scruff on a different timeline and boners and flat, and it was so bizarre.
I'm sorry, Patrick is not ever going to have sex with a girl. He is the kind of guy that will run screaming away from the sight of an open vagina. He is not going to have sex with a girl. It's not going to happen.
Oh, but on different timelines, he does everything and anyone.
Oh, okay. On different timelines, he's also not a fucking loser. But on this one, he is.
On different timelines, his altar isn't covered in a bunch of dime store crap.
So far, I cannot spot a single dildo, so this could be an ominous sign. But maybe
no, the crucifix and Big Daddy are technically dildos.
That's true. The crucifix can be used as a dildo. Big Daddy, though, is an ephemeral spirit. So.
Oh, man, you know, 4 years ago, before he got into the shaman stuff, when he said, "Hey, I think it's a good idea. What do you think?" And I sent him all that stuff, and I instructed him on how to set up an altar because his first altar was crap.
This one's crap too. Take a look at that fucking monstrosity.
Oh, this one is crap. But I told him, I said, you know, okay, I said, everything should have a meaning. And he took it. So he's going down how everything has a meaning.
I see like 4,000 Harley Quinn avatars on that altar. And Prince. Prince is on his altar too.
Yeah, and that pine cone that you know has been in his colon. In his colon.
Probably some of those skulls were in his colon too.
Yeah, Big Daddy. I mean, look at those eye sockets.
Look at this altar, though. Can you just imagine how much magical work he gets done on that thing? Like, that is just the hardest working altar in shaman business, I think. Probably doing loads of magic spells on that piece of hoarder crap.
I posted a kind of 45-second thing of Patrick advertising his bullshit, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm drunk, I'm a shaman, I can do shaman things, blah, blah, blah. I've got lots of crap on my shelf, blah, blah, give me money.
Well, is he? I haven't checked out how he's making money lately. I don't know if he's still doing the services.
The price list remains posted and has never been down, according to our great people at Shaman Watch, despite 2 instances when Patrick has said, "Oh yeah, I'm taking it down. I no longer charge. Donations are welcome. Give me a new TV."
Yeah, I will say this: he's wearing great fashion sense today. The outfit is fucking beautiful. Look at that, and that wart it's popping. It's bigger than ever. I love it.
Yeah. So
if he puts a hot compress on that wart, it'll come to a head.
He likes the wart. It's part of his image. So.
As is Amy Shaw, and goddamn, I feel bad for that woman.
I don't. She can rot in hell. All right, here's Patrick talking about his altar.
I apologize for any technical difficulties. The
You're
spirit
not forgiven.
flows through me. It causes weird things to go on.
Okay. He apologizes for any technical difficulties in this video because electronics don't work around him because of the spirit. But you know what? They work in all the other fucking videos that he's ever made. Just in this one video, he wants you to know that sometimes things go awry because of the spirit that flows through him.
Yeah, he had this problem in the 2,000 videos that he deleted, the ones with the evidence of his...
They spontaneously deleted themselves because of the spirit.
And the content included overt domestic abuse.
Oh, it was so funny when he deleted all those videos, thinking that nobody had mirrored any of them.
With electronics, especially. So if the video freezes or the audio drops out, I'm sorry, I'm just channeling divine energy.
Okay.
This is about choosing totems for your altar. Behind me, you will see my altar. Very busy. I'm busy in the spirit world. So
his altar is a mess because he's busy in the spirit world. That means he's taking a lot of naps. That's what that means.
And for $199 plus expenses, Patrick will take you on a fun and exciting shopping trip to your nearest secondhand store where you can buy a bunch of crap.
Can't wait. And you know what? You can give him all of it. He wants you to go in and take him on a shopping spree at the fucking the shaman store, which is just Goodwill.
But seriously, to everyone in the audience, this is one of Patrick's advertised services.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot that that's a real thing. I also love his men-only shaman training. That's also really cool.
Confidentiality agreement required.
Yeah, not
wear your chastity belts, everyone.
And if I might add a detail to that, quote unquote, price negotiable.
Yeah.
Brackets. Editor's comment.
I'll knock 20 off for a beej.
Especially if you're under 30 and mentally unwell and a gay guy.
That is what he means. It's not even a joke. That's actually literally what he fucking means. He's a grotesque human being.
It is not even a joke.
Sorry, Robin. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, I'm saying it's not even a joke.
No.
Yeah.
He's a filthy, filthy, hideous beast.
Yeah, so it's very easy to lampoon Patrick because he's an absurd freak show. But I want to continually go back to what he has put in writing and how he makes his living exploiting the vulnerable.
I love that we've talked like 20 minutes of shit about Patrick and he's talked 20 seconds in the video.
Oh, there's so much material.
He's so easy to rip on.
Yeah, do you think he's drunk?
He should be if he's not. Patrick, jump off that wagon, bitch.
choosing totems for your altar is very important. So I'd like to highlight some totems that I have chosen for my altar.
Altar totems.
And let's talk about them. Okay, one of my favorite totems is 11. 11.
Oh my God. So he's putting figures from Netflix TV shows on his magical altar. It must be so magical. The spirits love that show, Stranger Things. All the gods have Netflix, and they all love those shows. You're totally understanding how it works, Patrick. Way to go.
And sorry, Robin, carry on.
Thank you. And then I think all those figures that he gets, a lot of stuff he gets at the dollar store and from people leaving stuff out. But I think these really cool things are sent to him by his elder shaman.
I love that his magical altar, which would supposedly be the centerpiece of his existence as a shaman, is just covered with hideous dollar store shit. What does that tell you? He's the dollar store shaman, everybody.
Dollar store shaman. And you know what?
Garbage on his altar.
Dollar stores are awesome, but don't invest your life in them.
And don't put them on your magical altar thinking that you will get magic powers because you filled it with a bunch of crap from the dollar store, you douche.
And never buy packaged cheese at the dollar store.
And what's he doing buying things at the dollar store? Doesn't he need that money for crack?
No, he sold his TV for crack. And
oh, that's right. The one he bragged about how about getting. Look, I got $1,000 donated to me. Look at this new TV and Xbox I have. Immediately goes and sells it for some reason. What could he have sold it for? Nobody knows.
And he did get the Lego Harley Quinn, and got confused about electricity and batteries and lights.
The spirit is flowing through him. It not only fucks with electronics, it also makes him mildly retarded.
So the vodka spirits and witches can throw him down the stairs 4 or 5 times to get him a week each time in hospital at your expense.
And we had like numbers on this at one point. It was like tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money that's being wasted just because this fuck up wants to have little tantrums every once in a while.
Including the estimate from the Catholic Charities and sundry other organizations, including time. Last year was $98,500.
Holy tamale.
Wow, they should just give that money to Patrick. He'd overdose in a week, and we would save ourselves the next few years' worth of money that we're doling out to his dumb ass.
Boy, that's more than I make in a year.
But you know what? We hope he lives to be 90 and keeps on entertaining us with his delusional babble.
Yeah. And with his sidekick, too. I forever want to see them as a duo.
Who, Wiley?
No, Amy.
Amy, I was going to say, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Amy's like Dumbledore to Patrick's Harry Potter.
Yeah, Wiley's in maximum security prison to prevent him from using his powers. So.
Yeah, she's also Sancho Panza and Ed McMahon, and, you know.
Excellent. And Wiley's cellmate probably still has Yahweh in a shoebox.
He should open that box. He can get out of that maximum security prison. All right, let's let Patrick talk a little longer, but I just want an excuse to rip on his lame ass.
11, for me, she's from Stranger Things. I don't know if you've seen Stranger Things. She's got a little wig. So having 11.
What's up with all of these shamans and psychics and black magicians and sorcerers talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Stranger Things? Like, do you have time to watch that when you know how to manipulate the laws of nature and reality?
It's absolutely pathetic. These douchebags have never even read a book.
Probably can't read.
Well, they're the prime target audience for these productions, though, you know?
Well,
yeah. Remember the first time we met Michael? Patrick plays with fucking dolls and talks bullshit, and here it is again. He's just guaranteed the cycle of retardation, which is about 8 months plus or minus 2.
He's already in hell, everyone. He's already there.
Give me a new audience that doesn't understand the 4 tawdry old canards that I rap out.
He's going to eat Teal Swan's poop and then poop it back out on the screen for everyone else. That's what he does. He just fucking rips her off. But anyway, I don't really care about what else is on Patrick's altar. I didn't see a single dildo in that video, and I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, and in terms of Patrick, he's not even street level. He's a guy selling Arm & Hammer based on 1-on-1 on the corner, ripping off his friends, and just being
a little white baggie saying it's drugs, Tide detergent. Yeah. That's who Patrick.
Low level, bottom feeder, live from obscurity. Look at my collection of cheap plastic crap.
Well, anything else to say about Patrick? I want to show Laura Eisenhower before we end the show.
Oh, I'm eager to see Laura Eisenhower. But you know what? PJC got what he wanted here. We have been talking about him once again. So, well, you know, it's symbiotic. You know, I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, he may have enjoyed the attention, but he does not enjoy being talked about like the low-life degenerate piece of garbage that he is, which is undeniable. So.
Yeah, scraping the bottom of the barrel, fish in a barrel, bottom of the barrel, that is Patrick. But he can always go lower depending upon present tragedies.
There you go. You know, he always surprises me. He can always find a new low point.
But I'm very interested in hearing a kind of summary of the Amy Shaw, Patrick John Coleman romance, because I'm definitely intrigued by this.
Well, I hope they have beautiful children together that, you know, create 1,000 new shamans.
And I know exactly what Amy's doing because, dang, I was there, but mine didn't. Mine wasn't for the extended period of time. Amy's is, but you know, he tries to do that flirty stuff behind the scenes, and maybe
he's not attractive. It doesn't work.
And you know, and I told you about the naked pictures and videos he sent me. I can only imagine what he is sending Amy Shaw.
Hey, are you excited? Me and Doc almost have possession of Patrick Coleman's sex tape. We're buying it from the ransomers. They're actually members of Anonymous. So we're going to buy that Patrick Coleman sex tape and show it on the next show. Are you excited?
Oh, please have me on for commentary, darlings.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Patrick Coleman's sex tape. I hear there's a glory hole involved. Dan Pratt might make a guest appearance.
Yeah, as soon as the banks open in Zurich tomorrow, I'm on it. So we should have it for next week's show. But I warn you, it's
not for the faint of heart. We saw a 30-second clip of it, and
it will change your life.
I cannot get a boner anymore. I can't do it.
Oh, I hear that PJC has been filmed using a coin-operated glory hole.
Oh, I could see that. I could see that totally.
No, I can't wait.
I have seen that.
Yeah, I mean, do you have more money than I have? Because based on the 30 seconds, you're bang on there, sister, and I'm impressed by your...
You already saw it, huh?
Oh, well, a friend told me.
Okay.
A friend, was that perchance Kabuki Bob?
I'm not saying.
Okay. Okay. I understand. I mean, join the dots and whatever. But in the meantime, Patrick is proffering plastic action figures as totems of some bullshit or other.
Well, that's enough about Patrick. Let's move on to the granddaughter of the great Dwight Eisenhower. If you wanted to know how kooky the granddaughter of a famous U.S. president could be, here you go. First, let me give you an introduction. This lady claims that she went to Mars. She was recruited for a secret Mars space mission. And supposedly it's been confirmed, but it really was not confirmed at all. They were talking about recruiting people to go to Mars a few years ago for a mission, but that's her proof that she was recruited and went to Mars for a secret space mission. She also, go ahead.
Wait. Okay, Eisenhower, oh, Jesus Christ, poor Ike.
Yes,
this is from...
it's Dwight. I think she's Dwight Eisenhower's
Really?
granddaughter.
Well, we called him Ike. When I was a kid, my sister made me march up and down the sidewalk with a sign saying, "We like Ike." Really? This is really, really, really Eisenhower's granddaughter.
It's really his granddaughter, for reals.
Yeah, and...
we need to renegotiate extraterrestrial treaties that were never...
And to be clear, I'm from the 1970s. Are you from the 1960s?
Who, me?
Yes, darling.
Oh, before that, darling. I'm the senior member here.
Okay, from the 1950s. Then you understand how everything went to shit.
Yeah, with the military-industrial complex. Yeah, sure.
Yep. I hear you have been part of both. So, Dwight D. Eisenhower's granddaughter, what would your hopes be for her other than Mars?
I want to send her to Mars. Let's put her on that ship and get her there. Get her to Mars.
Something about a measure of integrity and real stuff and viewing it with real eyes and stuff. I would never expect a progeny to go off the rails.
Well, tough shit, because this lady is crazy.
Yeah. She is running for mayor of Crazy Town as we speak. And she saw that movie with Matt Damon on Mars and the potato farm and the whole thing. And she's...
Oh, yeah, I marched. Yeah.
I marched.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she is all over it like a fat kid on a birthday cake.
Well, let's listen to her talk. Let's just look into these crazy wild eyes. Come on. I'm not talking to you, Cortana. Go away, bitch.
Well, my name's Laura Magdalene Eisenhower. I consider myself a global alchemist. I'm an intuitive astrologist, a whistleblower, and I have always, really been aware of my mission.
Now, to be a whistleblower, don't you need to be like blowing the whistle on a company that you work for and not just spouting bullshit out of your fucking face?
45 seconds in, I'm like, I'm a blah, 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 alchemist and blah, 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 whistleblower. And pay attention to me. And bullshit.
You know what? I'm so proud of Dwight Eisenhower's granddaughter that she is one of the first ever global alchemists that ever existed. Congratulations, what a lineage.
Okay, I'm holding applause here. 45 seconds in, I am saying nobody really knows who their grandfather is.
Yeah, I keep thinking, could she really be? But who knows? Maybe she could. Maybe she is. I couldn't find anything to say that she's not.
I don't know.
Wait, what's that?
I don't know. You know, I'll pay for a 23andMe genetic test for this girl.
She's probably already had one.
I know who my grandfather is. All of them.
Mine is
because they tended to punch retards in the face for telling lies and exploiting the vulnerable. So I'm pretty confident of the lineage here.
Well, she is, you know, Dwight Eisenhower did talk a lot about extraterrestrial treaties and global alchemy.
It's taken many different forms. It started off more with like energy work and, you know, really going into sort of the multidimensional planes and making, you know, connections with, you know, beings and guides, you know, that were almost prepping me for where we are right now, this ascension window.
Right.
So
my favorite thing about her is how she speaks with such authority about things that she has no fucking clue what she's talking about. Like, you know, I was credentialed by these beings that I met in the other world that prepared me for this moment that we're in now. Prove it. Prove it. You have nothing to say except the same shit every other fucking person. The only thing that makes her stand out from anyone else is her last name. She is the same as every other hack-ass loser who comes on the internet to talk about their fucking contact experiences.
And you would think she could afford some better lighting and maybe some makeup and a hairdo.
Oh, well,
but
he can appear.
You know what? Hunter Thompson asks, he answers my prayers more often than Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So why should this granddaughter of someone who was significant matter of fuck?
Well, because, you know, she's an Eisenhower, and therefore we must inherently care about her name because for some reason we do. Okay, here's her speaking at Disclosure.
Galactic chakras.
Yes, she went in front of a crowd of people and got on a microphone and talked about chakras and aliens.
I find the information in a sort of, oh my gosh, it's just right there on the internet kind of way.
What a great public speaker, right? Those are some skills. You could tell she inherited those from her grandfather.
You know why she's wearing those glasses, right? Because her eyes are sticking out on fucking toothpicks at the moment.
Probably. I mean, hey, if you're not going to get high when you go to Disclosure Fest, then when are you going to get high?
5 hours ago, I did 500 milligrams of MDMA, and I'm as high as a kite right now. Give me your money, aliens, Jesus, blah, 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 blah,
My
blah.
father was the president, or my grandfather.
It was just a part of a lifelong quest, knowing that there's something beyond the seven, and just I'm the kind of person that asks a lot of questions and then Googles and sees who else maybe.
What a huge crowd, right?
Yeah, there were like 9 people in the crowd.
And they're like, what's going on here? What kind of festival is this?
She reminds me of a really tragic video where Amy Winehouse was near the end of her life and wasted, and her manager let her get out on stage, and she was just a sloppy, drunken mess. And all of these people are going, is this an intervention? Are we meant to do something?
I think what happened is they thought that the music group Disclosure was playing because it says Disclosure Fest. So they all showed up for Disclosure, and then they get this crazy bitch talking about aliens and chakra transplants.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like becoming a Jedi with that other lady.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm wondering if this girl has any siblings, and if she does, if she's known as the weird sister.
Probably.
No, she comes from a family like the Pavlinas, where there's 4 generations of retarded scamming going on.
So what? But Dwight Eisenhower was a good president, right? I don't even fucking know.
Well, relative to Trump, yes, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. And and he was pragmatic and a little officious. And my family comes from Ohio, and big conservative folks, and they thought he was God. I don't know. That's all. The only thing I heard from my family and from news and stuff. But he was a solid character. This girl is not.
The only reason she's being allowed to go to these conferences and talk and be taken seriously at all is strictly because she's an Eisenhower. That's the only reason they are letting her play in this sandbox. If she had a different last name, they would not give a flying fuck. They would push her out to the periphery and kick her over the edge of the flat earth. They don't give a shit. It's only her last name. That's the only reason.
Yeah, and I just did a quick count. There are 18 people in our audience, and 6 of them are under semi-permanent cover. When I go shoe shopping, I have a bigger audience than this woman.
And Omni's views are higher than this right now.
And I have 1 million gang stalkers watching me at all times, so my audience is bigger than hers too.
You said it.
We got one more video from her. This is the one where she talks about the Mars recruitment. This video is from somebody in Europe. Go to this person's website.
My name is Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, and I'm the great-granddaughter of Dwight David Eisenhower.
Global alchemist.
2006, something very interesting happened to my path. I ended up meeting somebody at a gathering that offered me an opportunity to go off-planet. In 2006, I was recruited to go off-planet to Mars, the planet Mars. A lot of people don't believe me. I get, mail all.
A lot of people don't believe me because I can't provide any evidence whatsoever that it happened, nor that I ever actually did go to Mars or was in contact with anyone in any way whatsoever. But I don't care. I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah, I dated this woman, and she told me this story, and it involved a dwarf Rastafarian biker who gave her 250 milligrams of lysergic acid diethylamine.
Did he also give her syphilis? Because she might be suffering from that with her delusions.
No, just a little bit of the clam, if you will.
So did I hear incorrectly? She did not say she was the great-granddaughter of Dwight David Eisenhower. Did she say Joy?
I looked her up. She does claim to be Dwight Eisenhower's granddaughter. So I don't know what she said, but she has claimed to be Dwight's.
Yeah, she said great. I'm, suspicious here.
Yeah, a little suspicious, maybe.
I would love to catch her lying about this. That would be great.
But she did go to Mars, so I mean, there's that.
Weird.
And she's a global alchemist. Don't forget about that. That's a real thing that really matters.
Okay, that column is way longer.
All right.
All the time, you're disinfo, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. And, it doesn't faze me at all. It actually makes me stronger in a lot of ways because, truth doesn't need belief. It just is.
Truth doesn't need belief or evidence or anything to corroborate it whatsoever. It's just true if I say it is.
And there's no evidence, therefore that's evidence because I'm not crazy. Give me money.
Yeah, that's great logic there. Definitely dealing with a genius here.
Doesn't require, it doesn't feed on anybody, it doesn't steal.
That's right, Dutch Foundation Mars One is trolling for pioneers to colonize the Red Planet.
Oh, so because that happened, it proves that she's not lying.
And at first, when I heard the term going to Mars or a Mars colony, I thought it was something way in the future, some great idea that was going to become more public.
Mars One will establish human settlement on Mars in 2023.
What would it take to get you to leave Earth forever?
I will leave Earth forever if I can get away from Laura Eisenhower. Send me to Mars. I don't care. Get me the fuck away from her. She's insane.
I will leave Earth tomorrow if I can find a way to only move my eyes and my mouth when I'm spouting bullshit on the internet.
Well, there's probably a way. Just have to really trust that you can find it. Well, there's something interesting.
I didn't really understand the roots of it or why I was even involved or even asked.
Our requirements are very different from those of the normal astronauts.
Yeah, the requirements to go to Mars was they were looking for schizophrenic, psychopathic retards. They want to start a colony of that on Mars and see if they can develop a civilization. I have a feeling they won't.
Maybe Dan Shelley can cash his latest stock of cereal on Mars.
Why not? He could take a bunch of SpaghettiOs up with him too. He'll be super popular. They won't have SpaghettiOs on Mars, but Dan Shelley will come prepared.
Space shuttle and lands.
So I thought it was something I could easily say no to and go on with my merry life. And it wasn't quite that easy.
These people are going to stay there the rest of their lives.
So I see she was really dissatisfied with her suburban middle-aged life being the great-granddaughter of someone who might have been famous. So she's going to Mars rather than getting a divorce.
Well, she says here she started getting top secret emails about time cubes and shit here in a second, which is just absolutely ridiculous. If you like the government like recruits her to go to Mars and is like, let's also just send her emails about our secret alien time cubes. Let's just throw that one in that email there. But I'm waiting for her to start talking about it.
Moving to North Carolina and becoming a partner.
What's that?
I just want to do an off-the-wall weigh-in here just for a second, because you guys have weighed in previously on the different guests regarding would I do them, yes or no?
Would you do her?
No.
No, me either. I wouldn't.
No.
What about you, Doc? Would you do her?
No. No.
All right, that's a resounding no from everybody.
With this person, moving my kid, and
carry on then.
Oh,
as I got more integrated into this lifestyle with this person, this Mars recruitment kept coming up, and it kept getting even more urgent and more extreme as far as how important this was that we would go. I got emails talking about the target date 2012, emails that were mentioning technologies like looking glass technologies, things called Orion's Cube, things that were just sort of blowing my mind, like this is out of a movie or something.
You know what? If she actually got those emails and she took them seriously, she needs to be medicated because she's fucking deranged. If I'm getting emails like, would you like to go to Mars? Let's talk about the looking glass technologies. I would say, who signed me up for this fucking mailing list? This is insane. What asshole thought this would be funny? But not Laura Eisenhower. No, it's all real to her.
Did anybody else get triggered by Orion's Cube?
I did.
Yeah, completely. When I microwave shit, I get magic messages in my head, and they all say, go and see your psychiatrist.
Yeah. Say that to her. But I guess that's it for her. I just thought she was mildly interesting individual. There's a really funny interview with her and some other douchebag whose name I can't remember, where she's talking about how we need to renegotiate the alien treaties. Like, and she's talking about all the parameters of the different alien treaties we've signed. I'm like, there are real problems. There are real problems going on. And you're devoting yourself, Dwight Eisenhower's granddaughter, in this country that is falling apart, where there are actual fucking problems. She's concerned with renegotiating alien treaties. Way to go.
I know, she really let me down, y'all.
She wants to be Cindy K. Courier.
She's actually more famous than Cindy K. Courier. But Cindy, of course, is my beautiful wife, and we would never say anything nasty about Cindy. Guys,
and you can never testify against a spouse, Omni. Remember that. You're
I know. Nor would I ever testify against the beautiful Cindy K. Courier.
Oh, okay.
You're doomed. She better never testify against me either. Well, guys, do we have any final thoughts?
You first.
Okay, my final thoughts are Bentinho Massaro is a fucking piece of garbage, and I can't wait to see him go down, which he surely will. And I don't know, everything else is pretty much the same. Dan Pratt, can we see those receipts, buddy? Show us the receipts. That's all. I'm just asking for some simple receipts for your Flat Earth food drive. Is that so much to ask?
Not at all.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me. Patrick, live from obscurity, showing off his dime store crap. Yeah, it's all totally holy, says Patrick. And Dan Shelley's still being benign, but Benito, don't tell your followers to off themselves and give you money.
He's such a fucking piece of shit. It's ridiculous. Robin, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, I just want to remind PJC that, you know, I'm never gonna stop watching you, darling, because you know why. And what a jolly good time, you guys. I wish you Happy New Year and
Happy New Year to you as well, Robin.
good 2018. I love you both. I love everybody in the chat and, you know, all that mushy stuff. Cheers.
Cheers, Robin. Love you too. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. And we'll have Fecal Follies and the urine extravaganza for 2018.
Yeah, it's going to be a great year. There's going to be petards everywhere. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year.
Yeah, and many tributes to Brown Shaman Finger ahead.
That's right. We're going to get a cure, guys. We're going to find the cure in 2018 for shamanitis, I swear.
Yeah, hashtag cure shamanitis. Shaman lives matter.
They do. Not really. All right. Well, I guess we're out. Thanks so much for joining us. It was a fun show. And we will announce the next show soon, okay?
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Good night, and thanks, everyone.
Thanks guys. Adios. All right. I'm stopping broadcast.